Podcast, man. It's your boy Shaq. We in the building right now, man. We got somebody special here today, man. Drove all the way from upstate, Syracuse, New York. Cuse, we in the building. I know what time it is, man. But today, I had to link with a very special, intelligent young man who y'all know that goes by the name of Paul Law.
Who, me?
Paul, what's up with you, bro? How you doing
Hey,
today?
man, love, love, love. I feel good, man. You heard the introduction, very intelligent, man. You don't get a bigger compliment than that. I'm doing great, man. It's a pleasure to be here. I am honored that you reached out, to pick my mind so we can exchange energy. So let's get to it.
Yeah, man. And I want to say, I thank you. Listen, I manifested this day today. Manifestation is real, y'all, man. For if y'all don't know, the power in manifesting something, as long as you have the right intent, it's real, man. Yesterday was my birthday, my 33rd birthday. I'm walking into my year of understanding. I told my lady, she's like, "What you want to do for your birthday?" I said, "Really, I just want to link with my guy Paul Law and do a podcast and talk with him and pick his brain a little bit." She said, "So hit him up." I emailed him, waited a couple days. I'm like, man, I don't know if he gonna get back to me. I'm seeing Paul go live on IG. I'm hitting him in his live, like, yo, check your email, bro. Check your email. But the day that Paul hit me back, I said, wow, man, this is powerful because this was a whole manifestation right here. And this happened to me last time around my birthday. Last year, I did an interview with an artist named Stunner for Vegas,
Hmm.
and I manifested it. And I didn't even understand that's what I did until my lady said something to me about it. She's like, yo, you manifested that interview last year as well, just like you did this one. And it made me understand, like, yo, the power in manifestation is so real.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Manifestation is a real thing. We are, like we was discussing earlier, us being, a whole battery and operating within this energetic field,
yes, sir.
and attracting things, whether it's with what you say and what you imagine, or what you listening to, so on and so forth, is extremely real. And I'm just honored and glad to be, part of your manifestation journey,
Thank you.
because manifesting is also like everything else in life, like working out. The more you do it, the better results and the better you start to feel. And you manifested your interview last year, and you manifested this interview that should give you, the willpower
Yes,
and the
sir.
belief, which will become the knowing that you need to know. Like, yo, I can literally attract and bring anything that I want into, my physical reality. So
Yes, sir.
congrats to you, man,
Thank
and
you. Thank you.
and
Thank you.
tapping in within the God within yourself, and
Yes, sir.
and using your words, which is, your wine.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. A little bit about myself for the ones that don't know, man. My name is Shaq, owner of Jet Diamond Clothing. This is my clothing brand right now that we both have on.
Yes, sir.
Jet
Ski.
Diamond, Food Water Diamonds. When I say Food Water Diamonds, well, my thought is, well, my meaning, when people hear Food Water Diamonds, anyone is going to think what it says:
Mm-hmm.
food, water, and diamonds. But when I say food, water, and diamonds, the food that I'm talking about is the food, the knowledge of self that we get from reading books, picking people brains, things like that, educating ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
The water, I'm not talking about the H2O, but the H3O2 that we get from our fruits, right? And then the diamond is simply just us. How is
Mm-hmm.
a diamond formed?
Under pressure.
Hey, man, we all go through pressure in life, and once we make it through that pressure, we become that diamond. And last year, the beginning of 2024, I went through a drastic change in my life with my
Mm-hmm.
health. Um, I never really cared about my health. I lived a fast life, didn't care. I come from the hood where we ate out the corner stores, we ate the chicken wings, the hot Cheetos, and all of the messed up stuff that we should not consume on a daily. That was my whole life. Last year took a drastic change, man. A doctor wanted to diagnose me with something that was called an autoimmune disease called Crohn's disease. And I was having terrible problems with my stomach, terrible problems, man. It was to the point where everybody in my house is just kind of like crying and telling me to go get help. I'm not trying to go to the doctors because one, I'm scared. In our communities, right, where we come
Mm-hmm.
from, the doctor is like the last resort. We don't want to go to the doctor. We don't even
Yeah,
want to find out what the doctor has to say to us, right?
I know why, but keep going.
So, um, it got to the point where I had to go to the doctor. Went to the
Mm-hmm.
doctor, they diagnosed me with something, and the thing with that is it scared me because they told me my colon was so inflamed that I was eligible to get colon cancer. That colon cancer was next because how inflamed my colon was.
Mm-hmm.
When I left out the appointment, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to think. I was like, fuck my life over. I got 3 children. Where do I go? I've been following Paul for a while now, and been watching your videos and the wisdom that you pass to us about the things that we put in our body, how any disease can be reversed and things like that. So I took it upon myself to reach out to you.
Mm-hmm.
I reached out to you. Yo, Paul, man, I just left the doctors. They said my colon inflamed. What can I do so I don't have to take this medicine? These drugs, let me correct that they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to call medicine. And you reach back out. Probably like maybe in 20 minutes, you reach back out to me. You need to do this, you need to change your diet. You sent me a whole list of things to do, right? And you told me to start off with some herbal tea to get my colon. I had to clean my colon first, get
Mm-hmm.
my colon clean. Reached out to you, and ever since then, man, I've been on it. And it's to the point now where I go to the doctors, my doctor is kind of like amazed, like, what's going on with you? Because you're looking a lot better. Your colon is not that inflamed. You looking a lot better. You telling me you feeling better. And one of the things that caught me when I was at the doctor is the doctor wanted to put me on a drug, and he told me that the drug can possibly give me cancer. But if they put me on that drug and I took it and I got cancer, that they can remove the cancer long as they caught it quick enough. That did something to my whole mind, man.
Mm-hmm.
That messed me up, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. It messed me up because I'm like, man, so you telling me if I take this, what you call medicine, that it can possibly give me cancer? Something that I'm already trying to
So I'm trying to something more
try
serious than what I have.
yeah,
Like,
you know what I mean? So it messed me up, man. And ever since then I just been reaching out to you, been building with you, been using the little pair. I did the whole full body cleanse. I've been
mm-hmm.
on the Dr. Chronic.
Yeah, chronic tea.
Yep, and I've been on it, and I just want to say, man, thank you for that, man,
Hey,
for real.
you're very welcome. I always tell people, I'm not a healer, I'm not a herbalist or none of those things. I don't subscribe to any titles. If any title that I give myself, I call myself God's little helper
Mm,
because I'm not healing anybody. I just was someone that went through a wild spiritual awakening about 12 or 13 years ago. And then I went down a rabbit hole of trying to find out what occurred, what happened to me, why did I experience being able, to read people's mind for a good month or so. Why was I able to feel like I was stealing energy from people and it was doing the same to me without me knowing consciously how am I doing so? Why did I experience super strength? Why did I experience a lot of stuff that end up getting people in a crazy house, and then, I was able to be grounded in a way, even though I ended up in jail for a little bit, but I didn't end up as far as like, in a crazy house in a
right.
straight jacket, taking drugs or end up in a street corner and being homeless. So I went down a whole journey of, trying to figure out, what's the correlation with what happened to me? Like, what is it, and then it led to me finding the correlation of food and spirituality and food and health and so on and so forth. And along the journey, I picked up a lot of things that I didn't know was going to end up, putting me in a situation that I am now, which is helping people heal holistically. So it's just something that I felt like, I got my whole world blew up. I got smacked into, and now I'm helping people do it. And I'm not in control of anything that's going on. I feel like it's just a higher power using the vessel that I am, and also certain things that I went through in the past that makes me comfortable enough to speak publicly
Yes, sir.
and freely, and and not care about what anyone has to say, and be able to handle everything that comes with it. So much credit. All the credit goes to you
Yes, sir.
for doing what you need to do because we are currently in an information age and a lot of information is out in the world, and like they say, go with your gut. And another, for you to go with your gut, you
Yeah.
got to have a clean gut. So
Yes, sir.
you listen to your intuition and you listen to your gut, and You reached out. Like I always say, your body is your spirit vehicle, and your spirit would not push your body to go look for something that is unable to be attained. And you listen, to something within you. You did what you had to do, and you healed yourself, which is what the body naturally does: is cleanse and rejuvenate and heal itself. It's a self healing kit. So much power to you, man.
Man,
You did
thank
your
you.
thing.
Thank you for that, man. Um, a little bit about you. We're gonna get into it. So, would you call yourself a raw vegan?
I wouldn't call myself anything. I don't attach myself to labels because I realize, we are, the universe is mental. The
Okay.
universe is a lot, and we're also beings that are mental. We're also beings, that are visual.
Hmm.
We're emotional beings, and we operate, we are the only beings on this planet that is able to operate within different frequencies and have the free will,
Right.
whether it's to listen or to eat and to watch and to, imagine, which dictates what frequency we choose to operate out of, and it can be one little glitch within your matrix, that takes you from this frequency and drop you into that one.
Yes, sir.
Like, so I don't attach any labels to myself because I know how mentally strong and emotionally strong I am, which also makes you fragile.
Mm,
Like you never know how strong you are until you realize how fragile you are, which puts you in a space, of avoiding being, fragile by working
right.
on your strength. So no, I am not raw vegan. I allow myself, just like all the frequencies I'm able to navigate and operate out of, to navigate and operate out of those things. A lot of people nowadays are emotional eaters, and I consider myself to be a spiritual eater.
Mm,
I was raw vegan for almost 5 years, meaning I went almost 5 years without consuming anything that touched any fire. And I also was alkaline vegan for a couple years. I was your regular vegan for some years. And, right now I'm in the process of dibbling and dabbling and experiencing with food. And a lot of the information that I share with people is stuff that I experience via using myself as a personal lab rat,
right.
which is how I know the
Right.
real effects of what food does to you mentally and energetically. So I don't attach myself to any labels. That's kind of like right now, right? Today is day 21 of doing the 21 days of me only consuming watermelon. So what you want me to
Salute that.
so what you want me to do now and say, I'm a watermelon because I ate only watermelon for 21 days. Like
Right.
I'm
Right.
not gonna, restrict myself to a certain program. And I might enter a space where energetically I might need to consume something warm for me to operate in the energetic space that I need to
Mm,
be in. And I'm live myself free, able to do so without, creating a programming for myself. And now I feel restricted when my spirit is telling me, like, yo, have that soup. But the programming that you created and you feel like you have to stick to that program, and it's kind of like, I'm not gonna have the soup even though my heart and my soul wants the soup.
right. Right. Right.
Nah, I'm not
Right.
raw vegan. I'm a spiritual eater, and I also know my anatomy and how we're naturally supposed to consume, and I operate, within my anatomy. But outside of that, the labels, everybody else can have that.
That's respect. I respect that a lot. I like how you broke that down.
Hmm.
You broke it down so simple to where a 3-year-old can understand that. So that's respect. So what inspired you to start eating raw and started to, I'm not gonna call you a herbalist, but starting to mess with the herbs and things like that? What inspired that in
And
your
by the
life?
way, you can call me a herbalist. I just don't attach myself to it. But
Okay,
I
okay.
get why people use certain labels. It's a way to describe and
Right, right,
certain
right,
things. Like, so I'm not opposed to, like, I'm not an herbalist. Nah, it's just that me, how I operate within, my realm is like,
right.
nah.
That's respect.
But what led to me eating raw for so long, and what led to me like preferring to eat raw most of the times, is via me using myself as a lab rat. Because, like I said, I went through the process of being someone, that was raised in a hood,
Hmm.
going to the corner store, getting a beef patty with cheese and cocoa bread and a
Yeah,
CNC soda, or let me get a black and mild and a Dutch,
yeah.
living a regular hood fabulous lifestyle, from a kid up until, late 20s. Like, and after my spiritual awakening, it's kind of like a lot of people nowadays are saying, I connect with my higher self. It's kind of like I just stopped eating meat. Like I connected with myself. Like if I wasn't sick and trying to heal, I wasn't overweight and fat and trying to lose weight. Like it was kind of like I was, in a space like, yo, this is how you have to consume and operate, to navigate and to evolve from the current space of confusion that you are in at the moment. So during that process, I started eating that way. And then because of relationships and environments that I was in, kind of like my relationship with my kid's mother, when you start changing the way you eat, a lot of people don't accept you and the person that you are morphing into because they done got so accustomed to the person that you are, because we don't realize like certain things that we do is what creates certain connections and bonds that we have with people. And when you remove those things and you realize like, damn, it's not that deep. It's just the fact that I smoke or I drunk or I eat this and I eat that. And now that thing is gone. And you're like, damn, like we don't have anything. So, I relapsed and went back, to eating certain things, but my spirit was not having it initially. And when you get a calling and you answer the call, and then you don't want to fully go into it, like you will experience certain things and certain traumas that show you like your breath. Like you answer the call, you're gonna have to stick to the script, or you're gonna watch stuff happen to you that you don't want to happen to you
Right.
until you actually honored, the call that you received and that you actually answered another, for you to be able to see everything that you see and that you're able, to elaborate on what you're currently seeing at the moment.
Mhm.
So me, relapsing, seeing how I was operate when I was eating clean, and then relapsing, and then seeing how I was operate when I went back, to consuming the impurities, and then initially going back and notice a big difference. I'm like, that led me into, experiencing, with foods that I eat, and trying Dr. Sebi way of consuming for like a couple years, and then really getting into fasting. I did like a water fast for like 40 days. I did juice fasts for like 90 days. I did stuff that is considered extremely extreme, like like dry fasting, not drinking or eating anything. So I noticed within all those ways of eating, mentally, and emotionally, I operate as a totally different person, whether it's the way that I think or how fast I'm able to absorb and consume, information.
Yes,
And I
sir.
notice why eating raw is a way that, like, not one, I'm able to sustain myself physically, and two, I'm able to sustain myself mentally and emotionally without, over overdoing it and being stuck in my lower self, which is basically, in my carnal flesh. So
Right.
that's why I chose raw, is basically like a balancing act for me.
Mm. Wow. That's deep right there. A lot of us don't even a lot of us coming from our community, man, we have the power within us, but we don't even know that we have that power within us. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Just from the things that we live in madness every day. Where I'm from is just nothing but poverty. I left home, I've been gone for 10 years and I came back and I still see the dudes that I was running the street with doing the
Same.
same thing. And I be thinking like, damn, how can you really still be here doing what we was doing 10 years ago? But I understand. What was your lifestyle like before that shift though?
Before the shift 13 years ago, I would say, like, if it was up to me, the guy that I am now, I would not be him. That's why
Mm,
it was a wild spiritual awakening. Because if you ask me, I love the guy that I was.
okay.
Like, according to my neighborhood, I
Mhm.
was thriving. Like, even though I was selling drugs and doing all those things, but I was somewhat successful. I was more than your average guy selling nickel bags. Like, I was,
Right.
I had my studio where I was trapping out the studio and
Yeah.
selling weed and Molly and all this, other stuff like. So, and going to the corner store, getting a Dutch or a bottle of teleport, and living hood fabulous. I love that guy. He
Yeah,
was he was
yeah,
the man.
yeah. Yeah,
Like, you feel me?
yeah,
That's how I was
yeah.
living. Like, and then out of nowhere, like, kind of like the movie Us, I felt like I woke up from a sunken place, like my whole world blew up. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was sitting on a couch at an apartment we were staying in, me and my kid's mother. I was sitting on the couch and I just got up like this, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? And she
Mm,
got mad and she threw the remote at the TV and broke the TV. And from that day up to like a month or two, I had a bunch of wild experiences, that showed me my environment, whether it's my kid's mother or my brother or my mother or my family and friends, that like I saw my reality in a way that I never saw it before, and got open to seeing things energetically in ways that I've never seen it before. There was things that was going on around me, and energetically, I was just a guy selling weed, doing my music, happy go lucky, doing
right.
my thing. But it's a lot of things energetically going around me that I'm not aware of, that I became aware of. And I saw my family and everything different, and started moving, totally different. And then, you know, which led me into, I would say, spirit led me into what I'm doing now. But I describe it as, I was the sacrifice going wrong.
Mm,
Like, like a lot of people talking about, the Illuminati and people selling souls and all this
yeah.
stuff. Like, I'm one of those guys like that should not be here. And me being here is me having something within me, like a lot of people describes as Kundalini energy, which a lot of people call Christ consciousness and so on and so forth, which a lot of people experience via near death experience or what the woke community call spiritual awakening, or something extremely traumatic happened to you. And it's kind of like when you go to the hospital and you see the staff with the two snakes, going up around it. That's what your Kundalini energy is. Is basically, all aspects of yourself, your darkness and your light and everything coming together and you becoming whole, which is basically what they describe as, Jesus Christ and Santa coming down the chimney. It's a little sacrum that goes down to the spinal cord and sit, down at your root, and then it climbs back up and,
Mm,
the flower at the top of your head bloom and you become awakened and you start seeing things a little more different. I had people, that tried to do certain things to me spiritually in regards to what I was doing and what I was going, that wanted to attach themselves to me or that wanted, to energetically replace themselves with me. And that thing within me is awakened as like a protection, another to keep you alive, to notice what is going on around you, which is what led me out of the way that I was living into this space at the moment. That's a quick little way of explaining it without really getting too deep
right, right,
into it.
right, right. Nah, no doubt. So it's more or less just leaving that lower self vibration alone and walking into your higher self.
Yeah, when it first happened, yes, you could describe it as that, but initially it lent into honoring your lower self and also stay
Honoring your lower
stay in your
self.
high in your higher self, another for you to thrive. Like, at when you first awaken, you start looking at being down here, your carnal flesh and all of that like it's something bad because you so high and you've never been that high before. And now you looking down, you judging everything that you see
Right,
until you get to the actual point and realize like, oh, I do have that aspect of myself that's still with me, and my higher self actually, instead of judging down there, wants to be friend with him or her or it or whatever you want to call it. And just like, the two snakes and the staff, it becomes like, a dance in a some symbiotic relationship where you have to cater to both aspects of yourself.
right, right. Did you face any challenges when you started doing your fasting, when you started eating raw? I know you just told me about many different fasts you did. You did water fast, dry fast. Any
Hmm.
challenges you faced with
Well,
that?
now I face challenges like, as far as like outside, temptations. Cause like I was saying, like when you first, change the way you eat or changing anything that you do in life, not just the way you eat. Like the universe has a way, even if you're choosing, to do something,
Hmm.
like it wanna test you to make sure you're ready for that big thing that it really wants you to do or whatever that you're going to do in life. Like you're gonna face certain obstacles to really show like, yo, nah, this is really what I want and this ain't about nothing. And that's the universal ways of testing you. But as far as like my relationship, I was tested. I have a son and I have a daughter, and
Okay.
with the same woman. And at the time my spiritual awakening happened, I was with her. But while going through all this process and changing the way that I eat, like, when you change the way you eat, you don't just change the way that you eat, you change everything about yourself.
Right. That's
The
true.
way that you smell, your sense of smell, your sense of hearing, everything starts to heighten.
Yes, sir.
You feel me? You start to smell people energetically instead of
Yeah,
just your
yeah,
cologne. Like I smell your aura.
yeah.
Like I remember I had an instance, right? It was a girl that I used to mess with a while before my kid's mother. I ran into her at the mall, at the food court, and energetically I smell her like, yo, it was a bad energy. Like you smell foul, like you up
Yeah,
to some
yeah,
foul shit.
yeah,
And then I
yeah.
went into Forever 21. She was shoplifting. Like I
Oh
literally
man.
smelled the mode that she was
Yeah.
into before I saw what mode, that
She was into.
she was into. So
Right.
so that alone changed your whole perspective. And then the people around you, even family members, you start to see them and smell them energetically in ways that you never seen them before. And there also are people out there that see you before you become you. Like the
Mm.
spiritual awakening, the
Yeah,
guy that I
yeah.
morphed into, it's a lot of people that saw that version of myself before I actually become that version of myself. And also there's a lot of people in your life that knows the power of food and the power of smell and the power of things that you consume before you actually know it. And they actually use those things to keep you in certain states so you're able to be manipulated. And when you start changing the way you eat, you will
Mhm.
have ops. Like you will start to smell better. You will start to peep things before you know they actually happen. Your intuition, start to heighten. So I face, in relationship, like like this is the guy that I used to connect with. We used to go in the back of the building and smoke a blunt together, or we have, a shot or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Now those low vibrational tools that we use as a tool to have fun, we're unable to do that anymore. Now that, that bond and for way for us to connect is not there anymore. You know, her thing was Olive Garden and so on and so forth. Now I'm unable to have, go to Olive Garden and have some breadsticks and,
Right.
stuff like that. So now, like, all the tools that were used to create a connection is not there anymore. And you start to realize, like, damn, like, it's not that deep. Like if I remove food, if I remove some liquor, if I remove a blunt, and we don't really have a connection together, and all we have is kids, and now certain people are not gonna support that version of yourself. Some people are doing it unconsciously
Right.
because they have their programming and how they're navigating,
Right.
and they're comfortable in it. But some people are consciously doing it because they are aware energetically, whether it's how to spiritually tie you down or spiritually know how to feed you to
Mm.
keep you operating in the frequency or in the chakra that you're in at the moment so you can stay in their life. Like, so I wasn't getting that support, of me changing the way that I eat. Like, can you imagine you in a relationship with somebody? You're like, oh, yeah, babe, I got Crohn's disease. I just talked to Paul. He gave me this and that to do, and I'm doing it. And then the lady, like, man, had this glizzy, man, had this burger. Like, why you want to eat that and drink that? Like, it's like, man, you are op. Like,
Oh
you went
man.
away. Like, you feel me?
Yeah.
So I faced those type of challenges. Like, but and of course you got your own internal battles that you go with and your own programming, as you learn, and you also have to unlearn at the same time. I had certain parts of myself that I had to let go because, like I
Mm.
told you, that guy which we call Crazy Real, which I'm just now from this album that I'm about to releasing the name Crazy Real and totally going into Paul's Law musically, even though Paul's Law was known for a while, you know but I had to watch that version of myself die. Like literally, somebody
Okay.
that you love dearly that was thriving, you have to watch him die, another to morph into a version of yourself that you want. And I didn't want to let him go. Like even though I was, slowly going into this process, but it was certain things that I didn't want to let go of, which a little pushed me into depression for a couple years. And then I had to do a lot of things like practicing celibacy and throwing my TV out the window, do a bunch of things to face,
Yeah.
this birthing process that is currently going on, like,
Right.
and
Right.
not fight myself.
Man, that's powerful. Cause just recently, man, with me changing my eating habits, the things I've been putting in my body, things like that, I feel like what you somewhat talking about, like a resurrection. I feel the rebirth within
Hmm.
myself. I wake up in the morning, I'll go do some grounding, I'll sit in the sun, I drink my spring water, my mountain valley water, I eat my fruits and things like that. And it's like, yo, I can't even explain the feeling that it is. It's like a feeling that I can't explain.
Hmm.
Only if you live that life, you will understand which I know you do understand. You would understand that feeling, the feeling of life.
Hmm.
It's like I'm high off of life, a whole different. It's like, man, I remember the other day I made a smoothie and I ate some fruit and I felt like running about 3 4 miles. And I took a walk. I came back to the crib. I cut the grass. I'm in the crib washing the clothes. I'm doing the dishes. Like I could not sit still. I got all this energy in me. You know what I mean? And I know it's from the things that I'm putting in my body. Because when I used to eat a certain way, man, I would eat something, smoke a blunt, and we start kicking back, rubbing on our stomach. Man.
That's why you got the Crohn's. Like
Yeah, yeah,
it's funny
yeah,
that you say
yeah, for
rubbing your
real.
stomach
Yeah,
because you get the itis, and a
yeah,
lot of people
yeah,
don't know like a lot of diseases that ends with the word itis. Itis means inflammation. Like literally eating something
Mm.
and you go like this and you have the itis, that means
Yeah.
you're inflamed. You basically like a balloon
Okay.
full of
Talk to me.
helium and you like,
Okay.
and then now that itis, all that food that sits in your stomach longer than it's supposed to.
Hold up, Paul. You just fucked me up because what I'm thinking about now is the itis, right?
Hmm.
I'll go see my gastrologist, which he is called a what is it, itis? A gastrologist or something like it's something that's close to itis in there
Hmm.
that he said to me, and I was thinking when you just said that, like, damn, the itis and rubbing your stuff. It's like, yo, this shit crazy. Like that's some real shit
What
right
he
there.
was talking about in regards to having gastritis.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's really what it is because the itis means inflammation. Like if you got dermatitis, inflammation, in
Okay.
the scalp. If you got arthritis, inflammation within your bones and your joint. If you got the itis, which is basically where 95% of diseases start in the gut,
In the gut.
is that's the first itis and where everything at. Like and then you developing Crohn's, so on and so forth. A lot of people don't know. Like we are one and connected with nature, and we go through phases just like nature go through phases. Just like we left from the spring and now we're in the summer.
Summer.
Now
Right.
everything has a rhythm, like me and you, the way that we're conversing right now,
Yes,
whether
sir.
we pay attention to it or not. There's a rhythm to the flow and how we're conversing at the moment, and every day of our lives has a rhythm and it has a natural process that we go through. And just like there's 24 hours in a day, 888 is the same way our bodies operate within that 24 hours in a day.
Mhm.
888, you have 8 hours of consumption, you have 8 hours of assimilation, and then you have 8 hours of elimination. And when you first rise up in the AM, it don't matter if you wake up at 4, 5, 6, 7 a.m. The first thing that you do, that's if your body is operating in a natural way that it's supposed to operate in, and you're not clogged up and you're not constipated. The first thing that you do is go what? Go pee and to go poop. That's your body letting you know it's
Yeah.
in the elimination phase.
Yeah.
You feel me? And if you haven't consumed or eaten anything, by the time you get to 10, 11 a.m., 12 p.m., your body starts doing what? Start, craving for nutrients. That means you're in the 8 hours of consumption phase, and then after the 8 hours of consumption, you go to the 8 hours of elimination. But we are currently living in a society that operates out of gluttony, that tells you go to sleep for 8 and then you up for 16, and within that 16 hours you eat all day, and it totally goes against nature's rhythm, which is called the circadian rhythm, which
Okay.
you only supposed to eat for 8 hours throughout your day. So if you eating from when you first get up, you have a big breakfast, and like an hour or right before you go to sleep, you have a big dinner. Like you basically traumatizing your body and not giving it
Mm.
enough time to process and break down the food. It's just looking at you like, damn. So what am I supposed to do with that you just
Yeah,
gave me,
yeah.
and now you giving me
Give
that,
me this.
that to work on, and then
Yeah.
you end up with the itis, you end up with the gastritis, because
Yeah.
now you have too much that you're consuming, and your body is not eliminating at the proper rate that is supposed to eliminate. And
Right.
now the extra stuff that is stuck in your stomach is putrefying in your stomach, is turning into acid, which start, turning into gas, which turns into a leaky gut that poke little holes in your gut lining, which is a bunch of little cells that come together, and protect, and keep the acid and all the microbe in there for you to process foods the way that you naturally should. And now, you end up with the leaky guts, you end up with the Crohn's and the H. pylori's and the diverticulitis and so on and so forth.
Man.
And also consuming foods that do not contain any fiber. Like you could eat a
That's
you
big.
could eat a
That's
you
key.
could eat a pound of this
That's
mango
key.
and see that you don't get an itis. But go eat a pound of white rice and see what happens.
Right.
It
Right.
doesn't break down. It
Right.
doesn't have no nutritional
Right.
value. It just fills you up and I'm full. That's
Right.
it. Like
Right.
food
That's
is
key.
fuel, and you just put something in your stomach that don't fuel you, and also that don't process at the rate that it's supposed to. Nothing is supposed to stay in your stomach more than 8 hours, and a lot of people are out there eating red meat that takes up to 72 hours to process out of your body. That alone tell you you're not supposed to
Up
consume
to
it.
72
You
hours.
turned your stomach into a cemetery.
Man, I'm glad I'm glad we right here you saying that, man, because some of my boys gonna watch this, man, and I hope they feel some kind of way when they see this. You know what I mean? And the thing what I was gonna say too with the talking about the gastritis thing.
Hmm.
I was about to say something about that. I lost my
It'll
wisdom
come
on
back
that.
to
Yeah,
you. It'll come back.
it'll come back. But I think that that's very important because within our communities, this is what it was within our communities. We deal with these things, right? And we
Hmm.
don't know what they are. You touched on fiber.
Hmm.
Now, I didn't know really what fiber was and how important it was until maybe 5, 6 years ago. Before I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, I had a problem with my stomach still where I couldn't use the bathroom. And I went to the doctors and they told me you need to intake more fiber. But I was eating fast food like crazy. At this time, I was in Charlotte, North Carolina. Anybody know Bojangles? Man, I'm going to Bojangles all the time. Bojangles, Cookout, all the fast food spots. I'm there. Me and my cousins, we getting blunted. We riding around. Yo, pull up the Bojangles. I'm eating terrible. But about the fiber thing, man, it left me. It left a lot of damage. It did a lot of damage. And one thing that I noticed with the over time, as you keep putting these things in your body, putting these things in your body, it will catch up with you.
Well, nah, for sure, for sure.
It's fun. It's fun. It's fun at the moment, but
Yeah,
it will.
it don't happen overnight, like,
Right.
which a lot of people, which is why they eat this way, because people only respect, diagnosis. Like, I was diagnosed, and
Right.
that's when
Right.
you attach yourself to a disease when the disease didn't happen. With the diagnosis,
Right.
the disease happened when you put that first thing in your mouth,
Yes.
that causes the diseases. And people have to wake up and realize, the climate and the space that we are living in, and realize, how things are operating around us. A lot of people are living within a system and a culture, and
Yeah.
aren't able to realize the space that they're living in, because they're so busy, on the treadmill of chasing and looking and obtaining things that later on down the line that they will realize don't really have too much value, until they actually, discover who they really, truly are in the process. Like, we have to realize that we live in a society where everything works with one another. Everything works hand in hand. Where the school system that you go to, the hospital system,
Mm.
that you go to, the school that you go to learn all those things, and also all those diseases that you are being diagnosed with. Everything is a business. America is a corporation.
Yes, sir.
Like,
Yes,
you
sir.
have a president that is running the corporation. Like,
Right.
you have a social security number. Like, you basically like a can in a supermarket. Like, you have a barcode. Like, your name is being capitalized off of, just like diseases is literally a business and being capitalized off of. A lot of people don't realize a lot of these diseases are a business, and they are patented. Like, it's a business. Like, it's named after somebody. Who's
Okay.
Alzheimer's? You
Right.
can literally say Greg Alzheimer's.
Right.
Who's dementia? That's somebody's last name.
Okay. Talk to him.
Like, and also, speaking of somebody's last name, the people that patent the disease and on the disease and capitalize off the disease, they are in cahoots, or probably is the same family member that owned the school. Where are you going to school? Who's Princeton? Whose last name is that? Who's
Mm.
Harvard? Who's Yale? Whose
Right.
last name is that?
Right.
And the information that they are giving you to go give back to the people, how beneficial is it to you and the people that you're giving it to?
Mm.
Like, and we so focused on getting the paperwork and putting on the suit and
Right.
getting the labels that I tell you I don't attach myself to. We forget about our actual intuition and our actual common sense, and we just go by the book of law and forget that the land has a book also. And we forget that the universe, there's universal laws, and we forget that
Right. Right.
there's
Right.
spiritual laws, and we just so focused on this actual aspect and not able to think outside of anything. Like, if the disease that I have is a business, and then I go to the person that is selling the drug to keep the business going, why would that person want to see me get better? Not to sell me more drugs. It's kind of
Right.
like saying you're a crackhead, you're a fiend, and then you go to the dope dealer, and the dope dealer, like, I'm taking you to rehab. That don't happen.
Right. Right. Right.
Like, you feel me? Like,
Right.
and instead of focusing on the
For
actual
sure.
root cause of why you have the disease,
Yeah.
they focus on suppressing the disease instead of making you feel
Right.
better. You
Right.
don't just wake up out of nowhere and say, I just breathed in some cancer today and I have some cancer. No, you did something,
Right.
that gave you the cancer. So
Right.
what is that something that
That
you
you
did
did.
that gave you the cancer, instead of focusing the actual drug that you can take to suppress,
Right.
whatever that you are, feeling at the moment. Like, people have to come to the root cause of the issues and look around and be like, damn, like, my great grandmother did this. You know, my grandfather did this, my mother did this, and I'm
Right.
about to do it too. Nobody got no results out of it. As far as I'm concerned, insanity is doing something over and over again and expecting a different result. Somebody
Definitely.
has to be like, nah, something ain't right.
Right. And then we quick to say too, I'm gonna just speak on my family. We quick to say things like, "Oh, it's just in our diet. It's hereditary. It's in our genetics." Right.
It can be.
For it can be, but from me doing the knowledge and looking at my family's health, like okay, my grandfather, his brother, his sister, down all the way down from my dad down to me. I think that these things that harmed my ancestors were the things we were putting in our bodies. When I looked at it, the things that we were doing, pork chop sandwiches. My grandfather owned a bar, drinks a lot of liquor. Him and his brothers, they're overweight. They don't work out. Not moving your body around. One thing I did read too in the book, it was saying that to the first form of healing is to move your body around. How do you agree with that?
Yeah, movement is medicine.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So that's big right there.
And the reason why I say it can be is because there's something called epigenetics,
Okay.
like, like genetics and genes being passed down. And
Okay.
also, if you really look at it, like us here, like, the same way that I tell people, to do a parasite cleanse yearly, it's not just to remove parasites, it's just to remove parasites that is harmful to you because we have parasites and microbes that belong in the body, but we ourselves
Mm,
also are parasites. We're parasitic and feeding off nature. It's a cycle of life.
okay.
It's not about being parasitic or what's good and bad. It's about being in the natural process that is made for you that you should be thriving in. Like,
Right.
like there was a point in time where you was a parasite to your mom. When you was inside of her, you was living according to everything that she listened to, you listened to. Every emotion that she experienced, every chemical that she released in her body, you experienced. Everything that she consumed and she ate within her mouth, you ate. So that is why, you're able to say, oh, there were certain diseases or certain things that my mom had that I have also. It's not just that, oh, the diseases was passed to you. It's just that those habits and those emotions that create those diseases was passed
Pass.
down to you.
Right.
And now if
Right.
you actually, become the one that break the change and change the ways of consuming, the ways of thinking, and the ways of reacting to certain things, then you could say like, yo, it don't run in my family because the bulk, stops here. Like,
Stop with you. That's that's a good breakdown on that. Yeah, I definitely agree. What are some of the biggest I know you hear a lot, man. I know people hit you up and they say some things to you. What are some of the biggest misconceptions that you hear people talk about when it comes to eating raw?
when it comes to eating raw, one of the biggest misconceptions, I wouldn't say misconceptions, I would say a lot of people, are addicts and they are addicted. And a lot of people don't realize how addictive cooked food is until they stop eating cooked food and eat raw for a while and then go back to cooked food and like, oh, this is a whole total different addiction. Because you could go on a fruit fast and eat a fruit or eat a mango and eat a blueberry. You're not gonna wake up the next day like, blueberry. Like, but if you eat some cooked food and some rice or whatever the case may be, whatever it is that is cooked, even if it's veggies, like you notice like it becomes a little more addictive because you put it to a chemistry process for it to get to the space that it is not, it's not in its natural process, which is literally what a drug is, something that is unnatural, because cocaine is a natural plant. It just goes through a process for it to get to become white the way that it is, that makes it into a drug that makes it,
Mm,
highly addictive. Marijuana is highly medicinal. It's great for a lot of things like your heart and your penis and your eyes and your chlorophyll and blood flow and so on and so forth. But if you directly add it to fire, it
right.
becomes carcinogenic, which makes it cancerous, and which also releases a lot of estrogen in your body. And yes, it still has, some medicinal purpose, but the chemical imbalance is kind of like defeats the purpose of that it naturally have. Instead of
Mm,
you actually juicing it or eating it or making a tea out of it without directly adding it,
to the fire. Yeah.
to the fire.
Right.
Like, so I get the misconceptions like, yo, you don't ever crave for something warm, like a little soup, or even in the wintertime when it get cold. Like, I'm like, no, I don't. Like my body, the body craves for nutrients, which is what a lot of people don't get. Like
Okay.
a lot of people aren't eating nutrients. You aren't eating your fructose. You aren't eating your fiber. You aren't eating your vitamins. You aren't eating your minerals. You aren't eating your amino acids. You're just eating a bunch of stuff that fills up your stomach and doesn't have too much nutritional value. And when you get hungry and your body start yearning for more food, you think your body want more food when your body want more nutrients. It wants to be fueled. It wants something to keep it moving and to keep it running. And now you give it something that don't have, the stuff that it really want. And it says, give me more because you didn't give me, the stuff that I wanted. And when you actually go through the process of cleansing the body and removing all the impurities and you start giving it all the stuff that it needs, you start to realize that your stomach start to shrink and go back to the fist size that it's supposed to be. And it also stop yearning for all the stuff that you was giving it because it's actually getting, all the nutrients that it needs to thrive the way that it should be.
Man, um, I was a little while ago, I was trying to work out and trying to get my little big thing going on, right? I was trying to get there. But then once I changed my diet, I started to lose weight. I started to lose
That's
the
that's natural.
right. So I kind of got a little nervous about it. I'm like, damn, am I doing something wrong? Or because I know how you talk about, yo, I watched the video. You're like, yo, did you poop today? It's like, yo, I'm waking up and I'm going. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going 2 to 3 times a day, maybe four. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And but I'm seeing myself drop that weight off of me.
Mm-hmm.
Is could I say that's somewhat healthy? That's not nothing I should worry about, or how could I put on more weight with my diet?
Okay, I'm gonna answer all those questions. It's a lot. We have been a lot of societies have been pro, especially nowadays, which is why a lot of the goddesses are going down a route of getting BBLs or getting stuff implanted in their bodies to look thick or to have a certain type of figure. If you really pay attention to history,
Hmm.
damn near every decade or century had a certain way that they program people, to look. Like right now, it's the big and the thick and the buff and the six
Right,
pack
right,
and
right,
and the
right, right.
shorties with the fatty. At one point, there was a time when it was, the slim and the skinny and the model look that had people smoking cigarettes or doing things, you know, just just to stay skinny. People has to escape out of those programming and actually operate within their natural programming of how their body naturally operate and how they actually feel good. There's a lot of people out there trying to be thick, but you don't feel good when you thick. There's a lot of people out there trying to be skinny, but you don't feel good when you're skinny.
Right,
That's
right, right.
not the natural state that you should be in, but you want to be in that state because that is the you know um programming that is being pushed at the space right now.
Right, right.
And if you want to gain weight or maintain weight while eating, whether it's alkaline vegan or raw vegan or whatever label
Mhm.
that you want to use, all you have to do is focus on consuming, which is what they call protein. And basically protein is nothing but amino acid. You don't have to consume any complex protein, which is basically your meat and your dairy, and like I call them, chicken semen or chicken abortion
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
eggs
yeah,
and stuff like that.
yeah. That's so
Those
funny. Yeah,
like
yeah, 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 yeah.
those are basically complex protein, which
Okay.
is basically is complex to the body. Your body is a very simple thing.
Right.
It does three things and know what to do. And when you add anything complex into it, it start looking around and start looking for things to do. Kind of like you give it a food like a piece of meat or like a white flour or like a dairy or like a processed sugar that doesn't have any fiber, and it start thinking like, yo, I gotta find a way to process this thing and eliminate it, out of me. And a lot of people, they go towards, the complex protein because it makes you bulk up very fast because
Right,
it
right,
contains
right,
an amino acid, a
right.
whole lot of it that is
Mhm.
called arginine, which is basically what makes things spread out very fast. But real protein basically is a bunch of amino acids, and a complete protein is non-essential amino acids coming together. And all you have to do is go on Google and be like, yo, fruits that contain all non-essential amino acids,
Okay.
vegetables that contains all non-essential amino acids, legumes that contains all non-essential amino acids, nuts and seeds that contains all non-essential amino acids, and consume those things, and you'll be able, to gain weight and maintain weight and bulk up and do all those things, that you aiming to do, whether it's to be buff or whether it's to be slim fit or
Little
whatever the
cut,
case
little
may.
something.
That's kind of like me. I'm proof. Like people like you can tell, like watch my videos, like months ago, I probably was wearing a medium and now I'm wearing a large. And it's all being done naturally because I know how to consume, like whether if it's I do a fast or whatever the case may be, to drop a weight or to look a certain way or to gain some weight, I
Right.
know how to naturally consume for me to do so. But yes, consume all non-essential amino acids from nature, and you'll gain the weight. Not only you'll gain the weight, you'll gain healthy weight.
Right.
Like like
That's
healthy
key.
fats,
That's
like
key.
stuff like avocado is a
Okay.
non-essential amino acid. Healthy fats, like stuff like coconut, like guava, which is a fruit, non-essential amino acids, like like wild rice, which is the real rice that you should eat, that has fiber that breaks down in the body, that won't clog you up and cause you to be constipated. Non-essential
Wild
amino
rice.
acid, yeah,
Okay.
like quinoa, like lentils, like chickpeas, like mushrooms, non-essential
Okay.
acid. That's a complete protein, and the list, goes on and on and
All the
on.
things that I'm trying to work at.
Yeah, like kale
Yeah.
is a non-essential amino acid, like, and the list of it goes on. Like, if you focus on that, you will see improvement. And also, a lot of people don't know your body is not gonna take all the vitamins and the minerals that you're giving it and do exactly what it's supposed to do with it if your body is not clean enough to absorb those
Love
vitamins
it.
and
Okay.
those minerals. If you blocked up, if you're not cleansed as you're supposed to be, you may be consuming the way that you're supposed to and don't see the result because your body is not processing, and assimilating at the rate that it's supposed to.
Right.
Or
Right.
all your blood is not flowing throughout your body, which is basically what the water is for. It's not to hydrate, it's basically, to
Flush.
filter and refresh and remove. And it's also a mineral and a blood carrier throughout the body.
Mm. Wow. Yeah, because one of the things that is a misconception with me, my friends, my family is that, yo, you need the protein. You got to eat the meat. You need to eat a piece of steak. Yo, man, get this man a chicken bowl, man. Like, yo, you losing weight. You need some meat. And I'm like, nah, I'm gonna figure out what I can do. That's why I asked, what are some things that I can eat, or what can I do to put on some weight a little bit more, because I
Not non-essential amino acid.
non-essential amino
You feel what I
acids.
mean?
Thank you.
And also, Google, like if you look at horses, like what do they eat? Like when horses and all that stuff, when they get sick, they feed them, alfalfa sprouts so they can get their muscle and everything back. That's also
Mm,
something that you can consume for muscle and to put on, back
okay.
weight. Or bamboo shoots. Like if you look at the strongest animal on the planet, a gorilla, what do they eat all day? Just shoots and watermelon, which the seed in a watermelon is loaded with amino acids
Right.
that'll help
I
you,
do know that.
bulk up. Like
Right.
the hemp seeds has more protein than any animal product that you can eat, and that's a plant,
Really, a
and
hemp
that's a
seed.
high vibrational
Wow.
plant.
I didn't I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. What does a typical day of eating look like for you? I know you on a watermelon fast right now, but if you wasn't on it, what would the day look like for you?
Like my next phase, my typical day is basically eating naturally the way that I'm supposed to eat, which is eating within the circadian rhythm, which is meaning only eating within an 8-hour window out of my day. I give my body enough time, to consume, to assimilate, and to eliminate. So my thing is I only eat from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Whatever that I'm going to go like this for and chew is only gonna be chewed between the hours of 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. And
Okay.
yes, I can have my water, I can have my teas and my cold pressed juices outside of that window. But as far as chewing and breaking down food, it only gets done within that window. And
Okay.
and also throughout that process, I am only gonna consume raw vegan. That means I'm not eating any cooked foods or anything. So that's my ultimate way of consuming and feeling good and getting all the results and operate in the ways that I prefer to operate. And that's also throughout your journey is also something that everybody should want to figure out. Like,
Yeah.
it's not for everybody to eat the 11 to 7. You could want to eat from 10 to 6 or 12 to 8 or create your own regimen, or whether it's raw, whether it's alkaline. And I'm not eating raw because I say, eating cooked foods that, there's something wrong with it. There are certain foods that if you add fire to them, they're more, not even add fire to them. Like if you boil them or heat them or whatever, they become, more beneficial to your well being. I'm not saying everybody should eat raw, but I'm just saying me,
Right.
preferably at
Right.
the phase that I'm on right now spiritually, that's like the ultimate way for me to consume.
Mm. That's deep. That's deep. And I've been practicing the raw eating. I've been
Hmm.
practicing it. I've been doing it for a little while now. And it's been a little tough, but it's been rewarding. It's been very rewarding. The things that I feel, how I feel, the energy I have when I wake up in the morning, the way that I can think now, I can process things a little bit more clear. I have more understanding. I'm trying to have more patience with people and meet people where they at, and not be so judgmental or I'm a person, man, where I'm still working on patience because I'm a
Mhm,
person that's like, fuck out my face on folks you talking about. I don't want to hear that shit no more.
mhm.
But that's not always a good thing. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to be patient with people, meet people where they at. So I think right now in my phase, with the eating raw is definitely helping me to become more patient, to become more understanding. And it's just I wouldn't call it crazy. It's so beautiful how when we start to put living foods in our body, the things that
That
happen.
you start to feel more alive.
It's a
And when
beautiful
you
thing.
and when you start to feel more alive, you start, to attract more people that are alive, and you start to have a little more respect for every living thing and every living being. Like, and also for your case, it's great that you are consuming raw for somebody that's in the process of healing from Crohn's disease, because that's the best way for you to consume to feed your gut microbiome and to heal your gut lining, specifically consuming fermented foods, which are not cooked.
Right, right.
Like, that's how best way to feed your gut microbiome, like eating stuff like almonds or, chia seeds that was soaked, and eating stuff like sauerkraut and kimchi and pickles and pickled okra and stuff, and also cruciferous veggies on a daily. That's the ultimate way, for you to consume to heal yourself. And, and eating living foods. And I'm happy that you are starting to notice that when you eat living foods, you see how it plays a role in your temperament,
Yes,
and how
sir.
you start, being more empathetic towards other people, because a lot of people don't realize the connection that your gut and your brain has together.
Right,
That's why
right.
they have the saying that says, you are what you eat, or,
Mhm.
go with your gut.
Go with
Like,
your gut. Yeah.
because you when your mother got pregnant with you, the first thing that you developed was your nervous system, which
Okay.
is what allows you to feel. And
Mhm.
within your nervous system, you have something called your parasympathetic nervous system. And within your parasympathetic nervous system, you got something called a vagus nerve, which is basically a highway that connect all your three brains together. You got this brain, and that brain, your gut, your heart, and all of this, and they all work, simultaneously together. And the stuff that you put in that brain affects this brain
Mhm.
and that brain. You
Definitely.
feel me? And when if you are eating or consuming low vibrational foods, in which puts you in a carnal state, which makes you operate, barbarically, like a barbarian, you will have, operate and have attitude like a barbarian, and have less patience, and have a little, more anger and aggression to you. And when
Yeah.
you start putting living foods in your body, you will start to notice that you are more calm, because within your parasympathetic nervous system and your vagus nerve, that highway, which you have something, called your chakra system.
Mhm.
Like, and when you're operating, whether it's from your root and your sacral, you experience, more stuff like anger and greed
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and lust and stuff like that. And
Right.
and as you start eating foods that charge up, your body's battery, because your body is basically a salt and a sugar battery. And as
Right.
your energy level start to rise, you start to feel better. And when you feel better about yourself, it's naturally for you, to treat other people better, because we're all a mirror, to one another. Like, how I treat you is how I feel internally about myself. And as your batteries start to charge, and you start to raise your hertz, and you start, operating, like a dead person, because like I was saying earlier, your body is a battery that is basically operate in 100 hertz, kind of like the t-shirt that we have on, is cotton, and cotton naturally operate, in the frequency of 100 hertz, which is what a fully charged body,
Mhm.
operate out of. And when you're operating in 50 hertz or lower, that means you're operating, in your sick and your dumb state. When you're in 15 hertz or lower, you're operating in your damn near dead state, like a lot of people walking around. When
Right.
you're operating in 80 hertz or higher, you're operating, in your healthy and your genius state. And then, when you're operating in your 100 hertz or higher, that means you're operating in your full and your whole your whole state. So a lot of stuff that we do plays a role in the, the energetic space that we operate out of, from the fabrics that you put on your back, the products that you put on your skin, the food
Yeah.
that you eat, so on and so forth, dictates, the type of being that you are.
Man, that's powerful. Even with me eating better, I'm starting to get to the point or to the place where I'm removing myself from certain environments and certain people.
Hmm.
I get around people like we're talking about the energy and the frequency. You could feel it. You could feel it when just something just ain't right with a person now. It's like it's kind of like it's kind of like the Matrix when Neo go plug himself in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I plug myself in and I'm walking through and I'm feeling everybody energy waves and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to duck this shit. You know what I mean? Because it's real. And I just I can't tell everybody to live a certain way, but I will say that I suggest people to start eating better. Eating living foods, man. We got to get away from the processed foods. I'm going to speak on just my community. I can't speak on everybody else's, but in my community, when you come through my community, you see the Burger King, the McDonald's, the corner stores. Um, we go to different communities. You see the Whole Foods, the juice bars, and these things.
Yeah.
It's like it's been placed there for certain reasons to keep us unaware of our true selves. You know what I mean? I don't know or I don't have all the answers, but I do know that if we have to overcome some kind of way, man, and it's hard when a person has no understanding or don't even know where to turn to or where to go. I was that person, some years ago where I just thought it was okay because I'm being a product of my environment.
Mhm.
We rolling the blunts, we going to the corner store now. We got the munchies, we got the Skittles, the non-laters, and we not thinking about looking at an ingredient list. We don't care about none of
I'm
that.
just hungry and this
I'm
I need
just
to put something in this stomach.
I
Yeah.
just got the munchies. I just need to
Mm-hmm.
eat, man. But it's very important. What are some foods that you think people should eliminate immediately just for better health?
You just answered it. Some foods that people should eliminate immediately. I'm gonna start with the foods, not the foods that you put in your mouth, but the foods that you put on your skin, which is your
Mm,
largest organ.
okay.
The same way that when you are exercising or you it's a hot day, you sweat out of it, is the same way if you put a thing on there, it's like a sponge, it absorbs it, it goes right into your bloodstream. And for us dudes, it goes right into our bloodstream and it affects our prostate. And for the goddesses, it goes right into the bloodstream and it goes right to their uterus, which
Mm,
is why a lot of dudes nowadays are experiencing, erectile dysfunction issues. And a lot of goddesses are experiencing fibroids and endometriosis and and a lot of PCOS and a lot of womb issues due to the products that we are putting on our skin.
right.
Because like changing the way you eat when you first go through that process is kind of like a fiend going through rehab and you experiencing withdrawal symptoms
Mm,
is pretty hard to do, and you got to be mentally ready
right.
and to slowly let go of certain things. But it's easy to say, oh, I'll change my lotion and use some shea butter or some cocoa butter or some
Okay.
mango butter.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, yeah.
something that's gonna not gonna put me into any withdrawal symptoms. Like you literally just created a healthy habits for yourself that you don't even notice how powerful it is. But it didn't take you much, but to actually look for the product and to make a better investment into something that is beneficial to your well-being. So I would say to change that food, the food that your skin consume, from your lotion to your deodorant,
Deodorants.
which is totally going against naturally what your armpits is supposed to do. Like a lot of people are using antiperspirant deodorant. You are literally clogging up your body and telling your body whatever impurities that I didn't got in contact with that I put in my body, I want to keep it in there because my armpits that is supposed to perspire, I put something under it that is anti what my body is naturally supposed to do. You say, I don't want to sweat. I rather keep the filth inside of it. So change that, put something in there that will eliminate the smell and also not stop you, from sweating and block, from the toxemia and the impurities from coming out of your body. So, the deodorants, the soaps, the shampoos,
Yeah,
the lotion, the toothpaste, because a lot of people are using Colgate and
yeah.
Crest and stuff like that. And if you really look at it, it says, it has a whole lot of fluoride. And fluoride is one of the main things that calcify your pineal gland, which a lot of people think is boohoo mumbo jumbo, but it's not boohoo mumbo jumbo like a third eye, like the Indian that has these little dots in their forehead. It's literally like a part in your body. Just like you have a heart, you have something inside of your brain that's called a pineal gland. And when it's activated, you actually are able to be your full self. And when you are living unrighteously by consuming wrong and listening wrong and
Right, right.
smelling wrong, it calcifies it.
Yeah.
And then when you start doing better and living better, it decalcify, which is why your senses and everything enhance, and you start to want to change your surroundings when you change the way that you eat. And if you look at most toothpaste, it will tell you don't swallow. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why would I put something in my mouth that I'm unable to swallow when it's scientifically proven that everything that I put in my mouth, I digest it because the digestive process begin in my mouth due to my mucous membrane.
Mm. Hmm.
It doesn't make any sense. If you can't swallow it, don't put it in your mouth.
Okay.
Get some baking soda. Get
Right.
some, food grade hydrogen peroxide. Get some activated charcoal, which is edible. Get some bentonite clay, which is edible. Get some neem, which is edible. Get some white oak bark, which is edible. Get some cloves, which is great for funky breath and tooth decay and so on and so forth. I'm basically giving you the ingredients
Yeah,
for
yeah,
for
definitely.
this powder that I have called Smile on my website, that
Okay.
is great for anything that is going wrong with you orally. Like, it's natural ways to do all the stuff that we need to do without, harming yourself.
And you have that paste on
Yeah,
your website?
yes, it's called Smile powder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a powder.
Yeah, it's in powder form. You can
Okay.
literally dip your toothbrush in there and use
And
it
use
like
it?
that, or
Okay.
you can get some coconut oil and mix it like with it and make your own toothpaste.
Oh, I'm
Like,
gonna have to grab that. I'm
so
gonna
that's the
definitely have to
number
grab that.
one thing. Change the products. It's easy to do that. You're not gonna go through anything crazy, any bodily symptoms.
Yeah.
Now, that's one healthy habits that you done created for yourself, even though you're still in the same process of consuming all those other things. And also small other little things, like we consume in multiple ways. From our largest organ, we consume with our ears, we consume with our eyes, we
Yes.
consume with our nose. We eat in multiple ways. We
Yes.
consume. Like the music that you are listening to, there is something called
Yes.
sound healing. Like
Mhm.
right now, majority of the music that is being promoted is being created in a hertz called 440 hertz, which is
Okay.
the hertz of destruction, which is hertz that can make you sick. Yes, music can make you sick. Like if you go online right now and you put sounds that can make you have a seizure or a heart attack, those sounds will pop up. You will most likely probably see Marilyn Manson or something, and a video pop up that says a warning may cause seizures, may cause this, may cause this.
Oh
That's the
shit.
power of sound. Like the music that you are listening to can literally make you sick because they cause you to have certain emotions that makes you release certain chemicals that either affects you negatively or positively. So
Mhm.
those are things that you can change. Update your playlist, change
Right.
that food, and also change the stuff that you are watching, and then change your environment. Is literally a whole project of creating your own matrix within a matrix, because a lot of people think the matrix is this boohoo mumbo jumbo thing that we're trying to escape. Is basically matrix mean a womb. Like you, when you was inside of your mother, you was inside of the matrix, and now you came out. You got into this new matrix where they got this system and that and all this, how to operate, and then you go through a spiritual awakening, and now boom, you escape that matrix, and now you have the opportunity to create your own world, create your own matrix. And now you have to unlearn everything that you learn and create everything up for yourself, not according to what I'm saying or he this and that's saying, but you, like when you tapped in and fully connected with your higher self
Right.
and create that for yourself, starting with, changing your products, what you listening to, what you watch, everything that you're absorbing. And then, all these other things that I just named, they easier than changing the way you eat. And then now you can actually start with the number one rule of spirituality, which is what you eat. What you consume will create who you are spiritually. And everything that happens down here happens up here first. And then, you'll be able to control and dictate your whole reality and
Man,
live how you want to.
give it up to my boy Paul, man. He just dropped some jewels, man. I hope that this touches at least one person out there. Because it's important, man. It's important. One thing that I know for sure is that what we listen to, we become. And I'm watching it right from my community. I'm
Mm-hmm.
watching how the little Vons and the King Vons
The
and the
King
little
Von, the Chief
Dirks, and
Keefs, and everybody.
I'm watching how it's doing the destruction that it's doing in our community, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just coming from home, I had we had, not I, we had a young teenager, 15, just got murdered in front of everybody, right outside of a pool. Just right outside of a pool. Bunch of little kids, grown-ups, everybody watched this young man life get taken from him.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very traumatic experience when you're talking about a 5-year-old watching someone get killed right in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
Then before that, a couple of days ago, we had three. It was an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 12-year-old that was shot right, like right on the street. You know what I mean? And come to find out, the 8-year-old was my little cousin, and I didn't even
Mm-hmm.
know. But when I when I think about these tragic events, I'm looking at the energy that's being pushed out from the music, from the things that we
To the
watching,
food, to
to the
everything.
foods that it's all
It's
connected.
creating a whole it's creating a whole being within itself. Like I
Yes.
say, like everything is energetic, and like even like I say, every word is a spirit.
Okay.
Like every word that you speak, every word that you attach yourself to is a spirit within itself, which is also why I say, like, I don't do the labels. Because if you really look at it, everything that you attach yourself to, that you take on,
Right.
you have to carry
You
it,
have to
whether
carry
you
it.
notice the weight that you are carrying energetically. And I was also, like the person that was part of the problem. Like when I was selling the mollies and all those stuff,
Right, right, right.
that was around the time when Chief Keef was saying bang bang,
Bang. Yeah,
O
yeah.
block, Molly water,
Yeah, yeah.
like how the word thought was created from a girl called Tatiana. Like
Right, right.
I saw the effects of 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds that was coming to buying the Molly from me and why they was buying it,
Right.
what they was listening to
Yes.
at the time when they was buying it, and
Yeah.
what the programming was. Chief Keef was praising Molly.
Right.
Trinidad James, Papa Molly, I'm sweating.
Sweating. Yeah,
French
yeah.
Montana, everybody
Yeah.
Molly. And now you look at the whole hood and the whole programming around you, and you're like, damn,
Damn.
like this is what I'm pushing and what I'm a part of. And it's funny because not too long after that, that's when I had my spiritual awakening. And also a lot of artists, they don't want to take the fault for what they are currently putting out there, even though a lot of them know wholeheartedly what they doing
Oh
and
yeah,
they
yeah,
are
yeah.
very aware.
Of
They just
course.
don't want to put it out there because they don't want to seem like they're more powerful than the actual teacher that the kid go to
Right.
school with, or your actual parent, which is not even there because they at work for like 8-12 hours a day.
Right.
So the person that's in your head all day, that you're listening to, is shaping you more than your actual father.
They really don't want to miss that check.
Well, no, they really don't want to miss that check. And also, yes, I get it. Every man for themselves. Like it's all up to you to awaken and do what you need to do for yourself. And it's also not your job to raise somebody else's kid, but you also are in charge of the energy that you put into the world, because energetically, who you become, you have to carry that forever, even when you leave this physical body. Yes, this thing die, but spiritually,
Spirit.
what your soul and what your spirit morph into,
Yes.
you're gonna have to morph into whatever you incarnate, whatever you do after you leave here, whether
Right.
you become an ant. Like you
Yeah,
have,
yeah.
to embody that. A lot of people are using their influence just to gain, and they don't care what they put into people's ears and who they corrupt. And if you really listen to them, they know exactly what they saying. The people that puts the most bullshit, they have small little stuff that they say that they're like, oh,
Yeah.
you ain't stupid. Like if you listen to a song like a Mob Deep with Little Kim,
Mhm.
like like this that real shit, this that make you feel shit,
Right, right, right,
bumping
right,
into the
right.
club pit, have you wilding out
No,
when you
yeah.
feel this,
Yeah, yeah,
drums
yeah.
to your hair, make your raw uncut, have a nigga OD
OD.
because it's never enough. You hear
Yeah.
what these niggas saying?
Right, right.
They know what they doing, and they know the power of music and what it does to you. Like Eminem tell you, like, I
Yeah.
am whatever I say I am. And if
Right.
I wasn't, then why would I say I am? Like,
Yes,
yo,
sir.
bruh, so you are whatever you say you are. And if you wasn't, why would you say you are? You know the power of your words. And now you putting out some bullshit. And
Right.
now you got somebody reciting everything that you said, knowing that at first there was the word, and the power of the word will create that whole reality. And now you
Yeah.
acting like you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what you're
Know
doing.
exactly what you're doing. Yeah. Man, I agree. I
Lupe
agree.
Fiasco, if
I
you
agree.
are what you say
Mhm.
you are,
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
know what they doing,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. Yeah. They do. They do. And that's I looked at the change from the music from the 60s. I looked at the 60s to the 70s to the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s, and I seen this shift, right? I seen from the power of the uplifting each other,
Mm-hmm.
and from there it just started to go down. It started to spiral down. Once we
Mm-hmm.
got to the early slash late 90s, it got real, real dark a little bit. Like you just spoke on the Mob Deeps, and we
Mm-hmm.
had the we
so on and so forth,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
it graduated to
To where
to what we have now.
you
Like
got Kodak Black
the
saying
Kodak Black.
that I'm a gremlin.
I'm a
Not
girl.
now you got everybody popping Percocets
Percocet,
and a lot of
like
people
Future
dying.
Percocet,
Yeah,
biggest song ever is Molly
yeah,
Percocet. It's
yeah,
on the radio, bro,
yeah.
like
Right, right,
24/7. Like,
right,
and the crazy thing is,
right.
these radio personalities, they have people that's in charge of listening to certain stuff that hit the airways before it hit the airways. So you mean to tell me, out of all the songs that this man made, that's his number one song?
Right.
That's the programming that you choose to create. Like, I heard Molly Percocets for the first time. I didn't like it, but after hearing it 12 times, it's Percocet. Molly Percocet.
Yeah.
It's part of my programming now. Not only is it part of my programming, it's operating within nature. It has a rhythm. Not only does it has a rhythm, it's operating within a hertz that is destruction for 40 hertz.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing. It's like, it's a whole science project out here.
It's crazy because now that we talking about the energy with music and the hertz, this just came through my phone. Man, iPhone be listening,
Yeah,
man.
528 hertz, the frequency of love. They know that.
That
like,
just popped up. Like,
and it's not just, it's for everything, for medicinal, like for healing yourself, or even for getting rid of, like this powder right here. It's a powder called parasite powder.
Okay.
But there's an actual hertz where that you can listen to that help kill parasites. I think it's 1150. Like,
wow.
Like, music is actually, everything is medicinal.
Yeah, I agree.
Everything can either build or destroy. And the people that are destroying 100%. Is being done,
100%.
Purposely.
And these leaders are put in certain, well, as they are looked at in our community as leaders, they're put in these certain positions to keep that same thing going. It's a lot of hurt. It's a lot of trauma.
Well, it's just around. Like I was saying about, the hospitals, and the schools and the people that sell the food, everything working together. It's kind of like, prison. What is prison? Prison is a business. You feel me? Yep. Like they say, every superhero has his own theme music, and everybody is a superhero. Like right now, you a superhero. You in your bag. You hosting podcasts. Hey, food, water, and diamonds. You in your bag. You got your superhero suit on. You got my cape on. You got your cape on right now. This your outfit. Yeah. And the kid that's going to rob somebody, he's a superhero when he's about to go rob somebody. Yeah. Stick up, man. Right. And he got his own theme music that he do it when he listen to that put him in that mode to operate in that frequency to be able to go do what he's going to do.
Yeah, that's real, man. That's real. I think, man, it's just tough because I'm looking at this younger. I was there before. I want to say this, man. I'm not perfect. I was a knucklehead. I sold crack. I sold cocaine. I did destruction in my own community. And I'm thankful that I was able to make it out and to be, reflection is the business of man, to be able to sit back and reflect on yourself from the, living in a lower vibration to moving forward and living into a higher vibration, your higher self. Man, back in those times, man, the music, it played a big part. I remember, man, we used to be in the crib. Yeah, I was popping the mollies. I was addicted to Molly at 17 years old. From 17 to 20 years old, I was addicted to Molly, right? And I remember being in the crib, we would be loading the guns, eyeballs bigger than a fish, loading up the guns. You know what I mean? Just from the music we listening to. We loading the gun up. Yo, turn that up. Light the blunt. You know what I'm saying? It's real.
It's a whole ritual.
Yeah, it's a ritual.
Everything is a ritual. It's a whole process. Kind of like you go to a church. What do? They got the music that they play to put you in, in that element, in that space. They light their candles, they light their incense. Right. They got their little food that they give to put you in a certain vibration. Like everything is a ritual, and there's a ritual that you have to go according to commit, and be in certain states to be able to do certain things. Like that's kind of like the way you're eating right now. Like I don't see you going outside and killing somebody. Right. That's not part of the ritual.
Right.
You're not living like somebody that would commit something like that.
Right. That's man. That's
and there's
real.
a lot of people out there that go and do wild things or end up having wild things being done to them. And then people be like, oh my God, they were so good. The good die young. Yes, the good die young, but there are universal laws and spiritual laws that the good don't know about that ended up being part why they was, in accordance with that thing. Yeah. What song with that so-called good person was reciting? What was that person walking around thinking about all day? What was they imagining, like that
Right.
led for them to be able to be in that position
Right.
to receive the stuff that they embodied
Right.
spiritually before it happened in the physical reality.
Man, and it's so powerful that you said that because man, thought is the cause of it all.
Yeah.
Thought is the cause of it all. You know, you can't wake up in the morning and go take a shit without you thinking about it first. You can't wake up in the morning and go for a walk without you thinking about, oh, let me get up and go walk first. So whatever that's why we have to be so careful on the things that we
Yeah,
think in
that
the
we
way
think
that we
about.
think, because
You
you know
know, like
it
what you
comes,
think about, how you say it,
yeah,
and the emotion that you put behind it.
yeah, it's real. It's
Like you was just saying, watch it manifest.
yeah, and it's gonna
And it's
manifest.
gonna
It's
manifest.
gonna
Like,
man, no
and
doubt about it.
and then you're gonna get to
No
the
doubt
point
about it.
where you start manifesting things that you don't want to happen to you because
Right.
you done got to a certain powerful aspect of yourself where the stuff that you imagine that you speak and that you say start appearing so rapidly to the point where you start manifesting some shit that you just thought about one time and now you end up
Mm.
in some bullshit.
Yep. That's how it go, man. Man, wow. Man, man, I'm thankful to be here right now with you,
Well, no,
man. Thank you,
I'm grateful to
man.
be here to be exchanging
Thank
energy
you,
with
thank
you,
you.
man.
I appreciate that. So, let's moving on. What herbs do you think everyone should keep in their home? They should have in their home. Some
I
herbs.
mean, most people will have a lot of herbs in their cabinet that are medicinal that they don't know is medicinal.
Okay.
Like your cilantro, like your
Yeah.
basil, like
Yeah.
your dill, like your thyme, like your
Okay.
oregano, like your garlic, and like your cloves, and all those things. Like all those things are highly medicinal, and all those things are things that I use, on the regular, like this heavy metal detox powder right here. That's cilantro in there. That's one of the
Mm.
main thing that you need to do a heavy metal detox. Like if you somebody that done took the COVID vaccine or done type of any vaccine or done did any type of surgery and now you done got the aluminum removes or the plate removes and now you fully want to remove heavy metals out your body. That will help you do that. Like is there somebody out there that is having a mean toothache or that has some cavities and they don't know what to do, but they have clothes in their cabinet that they cook with, but they don't know that they could just put the powder on a tooth and to slow down the pain or to get rid of the bad breaths and the cavities and so on and so forth. Or there's a lot of people that may be be a little constipated.
Right. Right.
That don't know that food that they eat on a regular, like some okra, to help you get rid of the constipation, or some persimmon, or or anything to get rid of the constipation. But as far as like herbs that I say people should have on a regular, because a lot of people, are taking aspirin or pain medicine all the
Right.
time.
Right.
Like something that like um white willow bark is something that everybody should have in their medicine, because white willow bark is basically what they take from nature and then they add petroleum and coal tar and other, bull crap so they can patent it and turn it into a drug and then they give it to you. Like that's nature's, natural aspirin.
Okay.
That's something that everybody should have in a cabinet. And also, it's a medicine that everybody walk by it every day that you probably have in your backyard that you don't pay any attention to. And they also have it as a green in your market, like dandelion green. Like dandelion is
Mm.
growing in grasses in
Yeah.
backyards everywhere. Like everybody should have dandelion in their yard because it's great for damn near everything from cleansing the blood, from gut issues, to vision issues, so on and so forth. Like, and also another thing, which is one of the hill alls that a lot of people don't know is highly medicinal, which I made a video recently about it that went somewhat viral, which is cayenne pepper.
Yeah, cayenne
Like,
pepper.
like
Yeah.
a lot of people don't use it.
Yeah.
They use it, but they don't know the benefits of it while using it, or they use it, they don't fully get the benefits because the stuff that they added to, it's kind of like defeats the purpose of, the cayenne pepper being in it. Like somebody can literally be having a heart attack and you give them some cayenne pepper and literally like the 30 seconds later, the heart attack stop. Like
Word.
cayenne pepper.
Wow. I ain't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Damn, I ain't know that. I knew cayenne pepper has a lot of great benefits. I've been putting cayenne pepper on my mangoes and my oranges, and I eat it
Yeah,
like
like
that.
it make it taste, or like a bunch of others like garlic.
Garlic, yeah, yeah.
And also,
Everything
one
that you named is
it's
crazy
it's
because
stuff that that's we all have access to. They're in all types of
yeah,
markets, but the fact that we are in a microwave society and a lot of people aren't chopping things up, they aren't using anything. Like we don't, take advantage of the actual medicine that we have access to that is, right there. Or like a rosemary, which is in
Mm,
every market, which is like one of the original spiritual herbs. Like if you having any brain falls or any mental issues that you can take, like if you having dreams and you can't remember them, that'll help you, remember your
rosemary?
dreams. Like anything that has to do with the mind, like
Yeah.
rosemary.
Yeah, I had a guy that he was telling me, I worked with him a while ago. I was having headaches. He said, "Man, get you some rosemary oil and start putting it on your
Yeah.
temples."
Or lavender oil
Yeah,
too. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Like those two.
Yeah,
Like
that's what's up. Um, how important is intention and mindset when it comes to healing the body?
intention and mindset when it comes to healing the body is extremely important. Intention and mindset when it comes to anything is extremely important because your intention is basically you attaching your word, which is basically like I said earlier, a spirit to to another a spirit, of which is like this basically like the spirit, let's just say the spirit of strength, like to really, like set in stone, like what you're aiming to do. It's kind of like, saying I am, like they say, I am that I am. It's kind of like, that like you can wake up every day, and be like, okay, I walk to work every day and
Mhm.
I walk 2 miles to go to work, and you just do it freely. But that's movement, that's medicine, that's an exercise.
Right,
But somebody that rise up every day with the intention, like, yo, I'm gonna go and get up every day and walk 2 miles. And my attention is, I want to get my calf muscles right. And that person will literally start watching their calf muscles get right and start watching their body tone up. And the person that just freely, willy nilly, just walking around and just, allowing everything to set the tone for them. So
right.
basically, your intention is your way of setting the tone and really, adding the glue and adding, your intention into something and saying, yo, this is what I want. Like, so intention is a must. Like,
It's a
you feel me?
must.
That's kind of like you right now. You had an intention, before this podcast manifested itself, and you spoke it, and then you said it, and then your girl like, damn, like you did this last year, and now you did this. Like the intention was you wanted to sit down for your birthday and hear
Yeah.
what Paul's law, and then you did it.
Right, right, right.
Like, you could have had the idea in your mind and you never spoke it or you never wrote it,
Mm,
and you never thought like, you could manifest it, and and it just be that if it occur. But the
right.
fact that you put some, intention and extra work behind it is what, make the universe be like, all right, okay, let me open some windows
Let me.
and make
Yeah,
some things
yeah, yeah.
move for it to
Make
happen.
some
Because
space for me.
basically an intention is saying like, I really want this.
Right,
And whatever you really want, you'll get it.
right, right. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Man, that's powerful right there. Do you think we're seeing a return to our indigenous and ancestral health practices?
Um, a return. I wouldn't say we're seeing a return because it never left. I would say we're seeing a fall
Okay.
of what they consider to be medicine, and then our indigenous practices, which is they try to label as alternative. How can
Alternative, right,
something be alternative when it was here before what you are currently doing, and what you are currently doing
right,
isn't working?
right.
Like, so now people are awakened and seeing that this isn't working, and then now the stuff that never went nowhere be like, hi, I'm I'm here for you. Like, and people are actually, doing that. Like, so, much love. Cause right now the I would say whatever you want to call it, big pharma, the medical industry it's at its peak.
Yeah.
The people can't get no more sicker than they are now.
Right, right, right,
You can't get more traumatic, you can't get more anxiety, you can't get more depression, you can't get
right.
more diabetes, you can't get more cancer than you
Yeah.
are right now. You're at your peak.
Right,
Like, like
right,
you done reach your climax. So what can you do now? Like,
right,
after you reach your climax and you start, it's kind of like a basketball player. You don't reach the point where you've been averaging, 30 points for the last 5 seasons. At some point in time, somebody's gonna come along that done studied you long enough and be like, oh nah, I know how to stop that. Like
right.
we done seen that too much time. You done got away with this for too long. Like it's kind of basically like what happened to the people. It's kind of like, nah,
Yeah.
I done see my great grandmother,
Right,
my
right,
grandma, my
right,
grandpa. It's gonna
right, right, right.
like
Remember the movie Soul Food, Big Mama?
exactly
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it don't make no sense, like.
yeah.
And that's also what we do. We celebrate, we celebrate trauma.
Right.
We celebrate diseases. We
Mm-hmm.
celebrate, all the things that harm us. Like, it's kind of like that's basically what the whole culture is about. We celebrate killing.
Celebrate
Dude,
death.
dude,
Yep.
dude come from jail. Everybody celebrate him, welcome home like
Crazy.
he just
Yeah.
graduated from school.
Right.
You know,
Right. Yeah.
what?
Right. No, that's
That's the
real.
big homie. Like, that's nah, bro. Like, but that's the thing, kind of like soul food. You feel me? The same thing that killed Big Mama. We all gather up
The
together every
table.
Sunday and
Yeah.
go eat the same shit
That's it.
in the honor of Big Mama, and
Yeah.
then we say for our ancestors, and
Right.
then you go pour out some liquor. It's like, yo, bro, you think it really makes sense? The same thing, our ancestor that killed Uncle John, like we go pour that for him, like
Right.
he wouldn't want to be better if he was
If it,
still here.
man,
Like that's
man.
the libation that we want to do. Like, let's be for real. Like,
Yeah. That man. That's that's something tough right there. Cause I deal with that watching my grandfather. You know
mm-hmm,
what I mean? He watched. It's him and his sister left out of maybe 6 of them.
mm-hmm,
All my uncles passed away, bad health, overweight. It's just him and his sister now, but his sister just lost a leg. She just got her leg cut off. You know what I mean? She's in a wheelchair right now. And my grandfather, he got some health issues, and I'm slowly trying to help him out, get him, to just not fully change, but somewhat change, at least eating a little bit different. He's been doing a raw thing with me a little bit. And I know it's
mm-hmm.
something new for him because he spent 70 years of his life eating,
Yeah, that's 6 decades of programming right
yeah,
there that you
eating a
had to.
certain way. And now he looking at me like I'm his grandson. It's like at first he was like, he ain't want to hear shit from me. But then once he seen me coming from the doctors and I'm coming with results, he like, oh shit, well
Mm-hmm.
maybe what you doing might be
Maybe maybe Mama don't always know
yeah,
best. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it's sad to see, man. And that's why I tell people all the time, yeah, we have to take the control over self because we are in control of self. The doctor's not in control. The medicine and the drugs that they give us, they're not in control. We have to take full control over our health, over the things that we put in our body, on our bodies, the things that we watch with these eyes that can be mistaken sometimes, the things that we intake with our ears.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be in control of that. And sometimes it's hard, man. It's hard. It was hard for me, and it's still a fight with me every day. Every day is still a fight, man. And
I
I'm
mean,
still
that's
fighting.
that's the beauty of it all. Like it's supposed to be a fight, and I'm not saying like it's supposed to be a fight, like it's supposed to seem hard. Like you're supposed to enter also like a mental state where it become, like a reflex to you. Like it's just a way of living. Like you're not fighting, like you just in the flow of the rhythm, that you created for yourself. But anything new, to you is gonna seem like the fight. Like that's the ultimate process of life. Like you have to go through it to get to it.
To
Like
it,
when
yeah,
you
yeah,
first
yeah.
get a job, you enter the job like you're not really too familiar. You're walking around and looking around and you're looking at things, it's basic things, but just the fact that you knew and you in the mindset of this is new and this is foreign to me, is something that you have to get used to. You go to the
Yeah.
gym, like, first couple weeks and month, like you get sore, it don't feel good. That's kind of like you. You first start growing your hair, you go through the little ugly phase,
Yeah, yeah.
of growing your
Yeah.
hair. Like you
Yeah.
gotta go through the
You
process
gotta
of
it's a
it not
process.
feeling good or it not looking good for you to get to the
Yeah.
process. I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn, like,
Yeah.
I feel like,
Definitely.
I feel like Superman. So, just gotta
This right
grow
here
through it,
on
man.
my tees, man. I read this every day. We don't grow when things are easy. We grow when we face challenges.
No, that's a fact. That's why I
This
put
is
that on the back of the tees,
that's
man,
deep
because
right there.
a lot of people that reach out to me, whether it's for a consultation or whether it's via my DM, like they reach out to me like I'm on my last hope. Like I don't
Yeah.
know what to do. Like this ease is whooping on my ass and I need some help. So basically I have this challenge in front of me and I don't know how to attack it. And
Right.
you seem like the guy that can, help me with
Assist.
that. And it's a
Yeah.
reminder that every time, you open this bag of tea, like, we don't grow when things are easy. We grow when we face challenges. And like I always tell people, during my consultations, like we all look at a disease as something bad that is happening to us. A disease is one of the best things that can happen to you, because if you really look at it, it's called dis-ease. You are currently not at ease at the moment. You've been not at ease.
Mhm.
It's just now your body that showing you
That
that
you're not
you're
at
not
ease.
at ease.
Right,
You've
right,
been diagnosed with being not at ease. And now you have the opportunity to take your life into your own hands and put yourself back at ease. And that is your job. And when you actually go through the process of drinking the herbs and creating new healthy habits and using movement as medicine and using sleeping as medicine and using breath work as medicine and using sunshine as medicine and using aroma as medicine and using sound as medicine and using all the tools that is free, that you don't have to invest a dollar into it, like planting your feet on the ground and going to get some sunshine and
right.
sunbathing as medicine, and you start to evolve and become a better person in the process. And it took that dis-ease for you to actually say, yo, I'm gonna start doing and treating myself better. Not only in the process do you heal yourself from that dis-ease, you
Mhm.
actually evolve and become a better person than you were previously to being diagnosed with that dis-ease. So was it really something bad that happened to you, or was that an opportunity or a warning that you were given, like, your bruh, it's time for you to start nurturing and taking care of yourself? And now that you started being that, you evolve into being a person that you never thought that you would be,
Most
because
definitely.
changing the way you eat and changing all your habits is not just changing you health wise, it can also change you financially, because
Mm.
energy is currency, and the better energy that you put into your body will make you look better and think better and feel better and attract better in all aspects and facets of your life. So
Wow.
getting a disease is a blessing in disguise, and you will only realize that after you actually enter and say, I'm gonna get rid of this thing. And after
Right.
you get rid of it, you will see how much benefits, that you gain from that disease.
100%. Would you go? Would I know you would, but mental health and the things that we eat, it affects our mental health. Would you agree on that?
Nah, for sure, for sure.
Because we living in a time where, like, I can only speak on my community, young men, also older men, we don't even know what mental health is. When we talk about mental health, I was at work the other day and I was talking about mental health, and everybody's looking at me like, the fuck is you talking about?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But then when I start talking about connecting the dots, where the food that we put in our body, the things that we listen to also plays a part in our mental health, the way that we think, the
Mhm.
way that we interact with other people. Um, it plays a big part. So
Mhm.
people ask me like, "Yo, so where do we start at with healing?" And because I'm trying to be in the community and help the people out as much as I can.
Nah, you're not trying, man. You're already in the community, man. We don't try, we do. Try is try until they learn how to do it. This is
Yes,
a
sir.
process of you doing it by starting, with it, cleansing and healing yourself.
Yes, sir.
But yes, mental health, correlates with everything that we do and everything that we consume. Everything that we do, emotionally have a chemical reaction to it. Like,
Hmm.
being in love with somebody, that's a chemical reaction. That's oxytocin being released in your body. Being happy, that's a chemical reaction. That's dopamine being released in your body, which is why a lot of people are addicted to this thing. You get a like, you get a comment, you get a DM, or they pay you a little bit, for keeping people's attention, which is, currency, and you keep doing it over and over again, even though you're unconsciously aware of doing it, because you're releasing that dopamine, which is a chemical reaction. Like the stuff that make you horny, which is created, 95% of it is created in the gut. Serotonin is a chemical reaction. And a lot of the foods that we eat causes chemical reaction. Like, if you really look at this, marijuana is a plant. Marijuana is a herb. You can eat it, you can juice it, you can make tea out of it. So basically, it's literally a food because you are consuming it. And now a lot of people are consuming marijuana because when you smoke it, or when you eat it as an edible, you notice an instant chemical reaction.
Right.
So now it makes you high, or make you sleepy, or make you happy, or make you hungry, or make you horny.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
feel me? So now you
yeah.
see the effect that has on you.
Right.
And now people don't give other foods the same credit, like a lettuce or a carrot or a chicken or whatever, because it's not a super high that slap the shit out of you or that you instantly notice, but it has a chemical reaction and chemicals that it release in your body that plays with the chemicals in your body that makes you feel certain ways. And the foods that you put in your body can make you think and feel a certain way. Because if you look at, the when people join the army or people join the navy or whatever, when they are going to war, or if you look at, when people join in any other field, like if you look at how they feeding them, they
Yeah.
are feeding them for a specific purpose for them to operate, from a certain energetic field so they can get that job done. They not about to send you to war eating carrots and fruits and fasting and meditating and all of that, because you're not going to be vibrating at the frequency, for you to do something diabolical as killing someone that you don't know from a can of paint that you honestly don't even know why you killing them for.
Yeah.
So, and it's the food that you put in your stomach, or it's the stuff that you drink, or it's the process that they put you through, the grueling process of killing that innocent side of you, whether it's through the training and the videos that you watch to morph you and turn you into that person, which is nothing but a bunch of chemical reactions that is happening into the body, that is crystallizing something within you to make you stuck within that space for you to make and go commit and do that act that you are currently committing. Like, it's like everything that you consume and make you do a certain thing. Like, you want to go have sex. What do you want to do? How do you have sex? Feel horny. Instead of taking the Viagra, which causes a chemical reaction, have some maca
About to say, how do
root,
you get
have
there?
some
Right, right, right.
have some seedy watermelons. It's not just, oh, you just ate a watermelon and the watermelon just magically,
Hey, dude, yeah,
makes you horny,
right,
or the
right,
maca root, or the ginseng,
right.
or the stench, and so on and so forth. Like, it's the chemical that's within the food, and when it enters your body, that causes the chemical reaction that creates a huge amount of serotonin in your body, and now you horny and you want to go get it in. So now it's something that you can eat can make you high and hungry. It's something that you can eat can make you horny. You don't think it's something that you can eat and drink that make you want to go do drugs, or make you want to go kill somebody, or make you want to jump off a roof?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
That's the power of food. We
Yeah.
actually have to, that has to be like the main things that they start teaching people in school. Like, the number one thing that you put in your body that can literally shape and control your whole life. They don't teach you nothing about it. You just go to school and they show you a smiley face with 2 eggs and a strip of bacon as a smile, and then they introduce that to you as food. And now you think every day that you wake up, you got to have a big breakfast, and that's the food to have. And you don't realize ever since you was like 3 years old, they already created a whole programming for you. And that programming is dictating how you're going to operate and navigate throughout your whole life.
So for the men and women, basically, that may have the problems with pro- getting to the act of sex, whether it's the penis not working right, the vagina not getting moist enough, are we gonna say that's foods?
Oh no, that's definitely food.
Definitely
Everything is a
foods.
food. Just like you food to her and she's food, she's food to you. Food, causes a lot of chemical reaction. I have food that I can tell you to eat. Like, if you have an erectile dysfunction, that that will help you get your manhood hard again. Or if
Listen,
you having
fellas,
if you having
listen.
issues with blood flow, I have foods that can help you get blood flow. Like I was saying, like a watermelon, or like a ginger, and so
Right,
on and so forth. And also, having erectile dysfunction, yes, it has a major role of what you have to consume, because your penis is a muscle and it gets hard via energy that, goes into it, and
right,
also blood flow that goes into it. And
right,
now, if you're eating a lot of starches and a lot of flesh, that ferments inside the body, that is blocking the pathways for blood to go into the penis, how you expect blood to go into it until you actually will go through the process of cleansing your gut?
right.
And cleansing this whole area, for blood to go into it. And it's also, certain exercises, like cardio,
Hmm.
your cardiovascular system, which
Right.
is connected to your sexual system that pushes
Yes,
blood
sir.
into there. So
Yes,
do a
sir.
lot of cardio
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
get your blood pumping and your heart moving. Do
And
a lot of
then
squats and a lot of kegels, and to work on that area alone. And also, the major thing about erectile dysfunction is a lot of guys treat themselves like they are a piece of meat. You are not just a piece of meat. The same
talk to
way,
him.
if you are, being intimate with a goddess and you about to get it in, and she tell you she's not in the mood due to the fact that you didn't stimulate her mentally first, and now the the connection with that head and that head down there is not there, like she's tense and she don't want to get it in, is the same way for you. Like if you work in an overnight job, you work in a graveyard shift, you're not getting a right amount of sleep and you stress, so you think your body is just to come out of nowhere and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna work properly. Like
Yeah.
it's not gonna work. It's
It
a
don't work
mental
like
thing.
that.
It's your brain that sent a signal to your penis that say, "Ooh, I just something that I like. Do you like it too? Yeah, I like it. Let's get it on."
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
feel me? So meditation is very, very, very vital. Like for healing erectile dysfunction. Get your mind right. Do some meditation. Do some breath work. Do some grounding. Charge your body. Sleeping.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the serotonin happens when you are asleep.
When you sleep. Right.
And also, like I told you, 95% of it is created in the gut. The
Mhm.
foods, that you put in your gut, you know, exercising. And I also, got some things that I put together, which is specifically made for the manhood with a bunch of herbs that take care of that, like a horny goat weed, the name,
Yeah, horny goat
speak
weed.
for
Yeah, yeah.
itself, long jack,
Okay.
the maca root,
Maca root. Yup.
the
Uh,
name,
uh,
speak for itself,
yeah.
ginseng and cistanch and ginger, a bunch of concoctions, a bunch of different herbs that I put together. I got a tea called Hard that speak for itself, and I
Yeah.
got a powder called All the Way Up, like that speak
Mm.
for itself. Like if you take those two things and you actually, do a type of cleanse and start intermittent fasting and start putting, high water content fruits and veggies in your body, start moving your body, start sleeping right, start meditating. I give you 30 days or less. You could put down that honey pack, you could put down that Viagra, and your penis will be working again.
Yeah, man, it's vital because when I used to work at a gas station, man, I seen dudes younger than me going to get that blue pill. They'll come to me like, "Yo, I need that Rhino." I'm looking
Mhm.
at dude
I,
like, "Damn, bro, you like 22.
no, or not.
What's going on with it?" You
I
know what
get
I mean?
messages from 19-year-olds now, like,
It's
yo, bro,
like,
my thing not
damn.
working. Like, and I get it because I've experienced it before.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm sexually better now in my late 30s than I was in my late 20s due to the
Mm,
fact that I'm taking better care
care
of
of yourself,
myself. Like,
man. Yeah, so start there, man. Take care of yourself. Get some cardio in. Get some watermelons, whatever it is, man.
get
He
some
just dropped it.
squats in, get some
Get some
kegels
squats.
in.
He
You
just
feel
dropped the
me?
jewel. Paul just dropped the jewel on y'all, man. What y'all
Like
can
if you're
do.
gonna eat the watermelon, it's not just the red flesh in the watermelon. You can eat the whole
The
watermelon. You're
rind.
supposed to eat the whole thing. The skin is green, and green is associated to chlorophyll, and you need blood flow. And the rinds is the actual most important part
I've been
that
hearing
is
that.
great for your manhood
I've been
for you
hearing
to
that.
get it up. Just add a lemon in there, just add some ginger in there, and you will start seeing more blood flow into your penis. Like,
All right. So man, I got a couple more questions, man. This question right here. What advice would you give someone just starting this path? They just starting out, they don't know where to go, but they know they want to heal themselves. They want to get
mhm.
better. They just want better, but they want to leave certain things alone. What advice could you give somebody that's on that path?
I would tell you that your way works.
Mm,
A lot of people are looking for answers from other people, and
right.
throughout the process they are forgetting about themselves. like
Themselves.
like you have an
Great
inner
answer.
GPS within you. You have a guide that you should follow, that little voice on your shoulders, or that go with your gut, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Don't forget, about that thing. Like your way works. And when I mean your way works, like how do you operate? Like me, I'm somewhat of an extremist. I'm the type that like to jump out of the window, and I like on a way down. That way worked for me.
Yeah.
You mess around and jump out the window and die because that's not your way of operating. You're not an extremist. You probably the
Hey, I
type of
respect
person,
that.
that like the double dutch and jump rope. Okay, that's what's in there. And, or you like the person, that like the plan. I got a plan. I'm gonna try this and I'm gonna try that, and I go
Right,
to
right.
this and I go to that. So, however is your natural way of operating, you have to approach it as yourself, which is the ultimate way to approach everything. Authenticity is key. Like you have to approach it as you. Okay, that's how I'm comfortable doing things. That's how I'm gonna do it. Yes, I'll take the information from Paul or from whoever else, but I'm gonna apply myself to it. And now
Yeah.
that you're applying yourself to it, let's just say you are someone that like to Plan things out. Okay, create a plan. You know, you don't want to jump out the window and do something extreme like a juice fast or fruit fast or anything and experience a bunch of withdrawal symptoms and feel like you in rehab where you
Mm-hmm.
sweating and all those stuff. You create a plan and remove things little by little
Right.
according to the way that you like to approach life. You like to take time. You are someone that's extremely careful.
Right.
Go about it like that. But me, I like to tell people to use the Nikola Tesla 369 method, which is the way that everything works in life and which is a way to program yourself. Before you attack anything physical, you have to make sure that your mind is there and you have to make sure that you are emotionally straight first before you go do it. And like they say, it takes 21 days of doing something consistently every day, you know, to create new habit,
Habits,
which is
yeah.
also how, you know, you get rid of negative habits
Right.
that you don't want. So you
Right.
can use the Nikola Tesla 369 method as the way, you know, to program your mind and your subconscious before you attach that thing. And whatever it is that you aiming to do, don't approach it in a way like, yo, that's something that I want to accomplish. Approach it in a way that is something that is already done. So you can go to your nearest market, or you probably have it in your house. Get a piece of parchment paper. Get 3 of them. Like whatever it is that you're aiming to do, write it down as in something that you already accomplished, and also as something that you are excited for accomplishing. Let's just say I have cancer and I want to heal from cancer. And okay, I write it down on a piece of paper. Oh my God, I can't believe I healed myself from cancer in 3 months. This is wild.
Mm.
You write that down on it. You could take one, put one in your wallet. You could take one, put it in a pillowcase that you sleep at night, and you could take one, you know, and burn it as a way of releasing it and putting it, you
Mm.
know, out into the air. And whatever that thing is that is already done up there before it happens up here, the first thing you do when you rise up in the AM, you recite that to yourself 3 times. Somewhere within your day, afternoon, 3, 4, 5 o'clock or whatever, you recite that to yourself 6 times. And before you go to sleep at night, you recite that to yourself 9 times. And you
Mm.
do that for 21 days straight. That'll be
Okay.
a way to program your subconscious, and also a way to program every cell in your body, because every cell in your body is basically a bunch of trillion mini yous that is working for you at all times. And whatever command and programming that you give them, they have no choice but to listen to it, which is why earlier I told you you're not trying, you are doing, because every cell in your body is listening to it. So you trying? Okay, we're going to try. We
Right.
doing?
Right.
Oh,
Right.
that's what we're doing then.
Yeah. Me and my girl,
You feel me?
we was
So
just talking
now
about that.
you create
Right.
that programming for yourself for 21 days straight of reciting that over and over. Like you can test it out with small little things. Set your alarm for 5:55 a.m. every day. Do it for
Mm.
21 days straight. And then on day 22, turn off the alarm. I guarantee you wake up at 5:55 on day 22
That's
without your
real.
alarm. That's a
That's real.
programming.
Yeah.
That's
That's
how
real.
life works. Or if you want to test it another way, go to the supermarket.
Yeah.
When you get to the register, tell the person at the register you got 3 different orders.
Mm.
I guarantee you, after she ring you up the first time, she gonna say, "Thank you for coming. Have a nice day." Even though you told her you had 3 separate orders. She's like, "Oh, my bad. You have another order." She's gonna ring you up again and then tell you, "Thank you for coming. Have a nice day." You wanna know what that is? Programming. When she got the job, she was trained. It was beat up in her mind over and over. This is what you do. This is what you say when everybody else come. It don't matter what's in front of their face. Their programming overpowers what is currently at hand. And that goes in for what's going on outside of your body, inside of your body, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And whatever's going on up here, the body has no choice but to follow those commands and lead you into that.
Mm. Powerful. Wow. You just dropped one on me, man. I'm just sitting here, just like taking it all in.
So
Thank you.
create a programming
Create
for
a
yourself.
program.
And then after you create that programming for yourself, then you're like, okay, how am I eating right now? I'm eating the SAD diet, the standard American diet, or the
Sad
bad diet, the Black American diet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I eat like this. I wake up, I have sausage, egg, and cheese and grits, and then I have a Subway sandwich for lunch, and then some Chinese food for dinner, and I eat this and that. I'm like, damn, like, you feel me? What's the hardest thing for me to eliminate? Okay, that's the hardest thing. I'm going to make that the thing at the end that I'm going to eliminate. What's the easiest things for me to eliminate? Oh, yeah, I could go without that. Okay. Let's start this routine. We create a 369 method. You can either choose every 3 days or every 6 days or every 9 days.
Right.
Okay, I can eliminate a little white flour. That ain't about nothing. Okay, I'll eliminate white flour. Let's just say you choose every 9 days. Now you created a rhythm for yourself, like everything else in life has a rhythm. Now every 9 days you're gonna remove something. Okay, I remove the white flour. Now what's the next thing that's not so hard for me to remove that I know that I need to remove? Okay,
Mm,
I create a list from the easiest to remove to the hardest to remove, and every 9 days I remove something. And now after you done do that 3 times, your subconscious, your body, everything, it then become a reflex where your body is expecting you to move something every 9 days. And as you're removing something, you're not experiencing anything traumatic or going through any wild withdrawal symptoms because you done created the programming. And now it's not something extreme where you just remove everything at once. And now all of a sudden you like Pookie in rehab, you throwing up and you sweating and you
yeah,
experiencing insomnia because now you done remove the starches, and the processed sugars and the dairies, which are basically drugs, all at the same time, and now you experiencing the withdrawal symptoms. So if you go about it like that, you'll get to it if you create a routine. But like you said, intention matter. You set the intention, you create the programming, you create a whole system for you to go about it. Now all you have to do is be consistent and radical with your action, and it has no choice but to get done.
and
That's not, and this is not just to eat, for anything else in life.
anything else in life. Intention matters, man. Intention matters. Man, that was a wrap. Listen, we wrapped up on the questions, man. So I got a little game before we head up out of here. It's called Quickfire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say something to you. I want you to just quickly answer it if you can. You know what I mean? Say something positive about it or whatever you want. One favorite herb you can't live without.
One favorite herb I cannot live without. Ooh. Well, I'm gonna say rosemary.
Rosemary. Okay, rosemary. Favorite snack.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not a favorite guy at all. Like I'll be all over the place. Like I allow myself to experience things as freely as possible. But favorite snack, man, anything with an avocado on it.
Anything with avocado on it?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Juice or smoothie?
smoothie,
Smoothie. Sunrise or sunset?
sunrise,
Mangoes or watermelon?
mangoes,
Gold or copper?
gold.
Gold. I'm gonna just give you a couple names. Common, the artist, the rapper.
So
You could just say anything that you when you think of Common, what comes to your mind?
common, not common.
Dr. Sebi.
Mm. I see what you're trying to do. That is
Yeah.
Dr. Sebi.
Yeah.
Mm.
Got him.
Mm. And I could say one word.
You can say whatever you want.
Oh, I could say whatever.
Say whatever you want.
Okay. Dr. Sebi. Man. Dr. Sebi is a trailblazer. Dr. Sebi is the reason why a lot of people, are currently, healing themselves holistically, and also why a lot of people such as myself are, helping a lot of people heal. Because, during my journey of going down a rabbit hole, that was one of the people, that came across, my wave that I absorb and consume a lot from. So I would say, Dr. Sebi, I would say END, energy never die. He gonna live forever.
Yes, sir. I like that. I like that. Lauren Vanderpool.
Lauren Vanderpool. Hey, Lauren.
Queen of Greens.
Queen of Green. I love Lauren. I actually want to do a pop up with Lauren. We slid in each other DM recently. I want to do like a little,
it's gonna happen.
like a mini tour. Right?
Yeah, it's gonna
From
happen.
DC to New York and LA and so on, Houston and so on and so forth. But Lauren Vanderpool, I would say, yeah, man. I would say food artistry at its finest. I would say pouring love into food. I would say grown up and child at play. I would say, your current self holding, hands with your meaning self and dancing together. Cause I see a lot of, I see a lot of youth. I see a lot of excitement. I see a lot of happiness.
Yeah, yeah.
I see a lot of love, and I also, I see a lot of freedom of expression, whether it's via through music or through food. Like,
Mm. Man, shout out to Lauren Vanderpool, man, the queen of greens.
the queen of green, man. Shout out to the artistry, man. Like if you're a visual eater, like I tell people I'm a spiritual eater. A lot of people in America are eating for their emotions. A lot of people, eat with their eyes before they actually
Yeah,
eat the food, which is what makes them eat the food because they look at it visually, and if it's not visually appealing to them, they don't want no parts. Like
right.
what she does, like you feel me? Like when people say food porn, that's literally what it is. Like
Yeah,
it gives food
yeah,
like, you know, it makes food look like real art. Like, that's like
definitely.
she's the Basquiat of the community. That's what I
Yo,
say
that's
about
dope.
that's what I
Nah,
say
that's
about
dope right
Lauren.
there.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
big up to you, Lauren
Yeah, that's
Vanderpool,
dope
Queen
right
of
there.
Green. We love you.
Man, it's powerful because I was reading Common Book
Hmm.
and he started to talk about her and the changes that he went through and how she assisted him with, just different foods and implementing
Hmm.
more greens into his diet and things like that. And it made me go search her up. And when I found her, I said,
And
"Whoa,
the crazy thing is, when you
whoa,
asked me about comment, I thought it would just say one thing. That's why I was like, not common, and
yeah,
just kept
yeah,
it like that.
right."
But yeah, like,
Yeah, I found her from Common, and they had a Common has a little show on YouTube that I've been watching, and he did an
mm.
episode with her. There's in the kitchen making smoothies and cooking different. Yo, she's next level when it comes to the making the food
Oh
stuff,
nah,
like
for sure.
very
Like,
next level. So when y'all do make it happen, that tour to pop up, because I know it's
mhm.
gonna happen. I'm
Come to Syracuse. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, 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 yeah. Come to
come
the Q's.
come to
I got a
Syracuse.
spot we can make it happen at. So if you
Alright.
seeing this, Lauren, I know you in New York right now.
Hey,
You know
hey,
what I
Lauren,
mean?
there's a reason why your name was mentioned right here. I did not know you was going to be mentioned. I was going to hear about you today,
Nah, he
but
didn't at all. At all, he didn't. Dick Gregory.
Dick Gregory. Dick Gregory, I would say in a lot of ways, I see a lot of myself in
A
Dick
hundred
Gregory,
percent.
even though I'm not fully like a stand up comedian. And I have been on stage for stand up like one time in my life that I spontaneously done. And I'm an artist and I implement a lot of stuff that I do, and present myself in a way and that I see a lot of Dick Gregory in me. Like, of course, legendary, trailblazer, like extremely funny, extremely honest, and he did it, in Dick Gregory's way. He
Yes,
didn't try
sir.
to present himself as a doctor or wore a suit or wore a deck
Right,
or wore a label. When
right,
you think
right.
about Dick Gregory, you just hear Dick Gregory,
Raw, uncut.
Not Dick Gregory the herbalist or
Right,
Dick
right,
Gregory
right.
and
It's
that. It
straight
was just like Dick
Dick
Gregory,
Gregory.
and Dick Gregory was that guy
Yeah,
and is that, and that's really
yeah,
what it is. Dick Gregory was that guy.
yeah, he
You know
is.
you that guy when you're not here no more, and we are doing a podcast, and
And
you
we,
being bored up, and we talking about you,
I'm telling
and
you.
that alone says who Dick Gregory
I'm
is. Like
telling you, man. Erica Badu.
Erica Badu. Oh man, that's the ultimate symbol of what every guy that is currently, in the space that we're in and doing what we're doing as far as like health and consciousness when it comes to like, the type of goddess that we want. Like I feel like that's what she embodies. That's what, the image of what we see, even though like she might not be the person that, that's been married or been with somebody for a long time. But as
Right,
far as like somebody that's extremely creative, somebody that's operating in her deeply in her femininity, and and do her, and everything that she does is her, like like I feel like Erica Badu, she's somebody that I never met, but like if she would have had a mask on and walked past me down the street, I'd be like, was that Erica Badu that just walked past me? Like I feel like that's who she is. Like you feel me? She done became bigger than her
yeah,
face and her body. Like
yeah,
she's
definitely.
she's even though she might not label herself like that or call herself that, but she's
Right,
she's a goddess in human form. Like
man. Man, like I said, Paul, man, I just want to thank you for coming out, man, and giving me this time.
mhm.
This was important to me. This is how I wanted to spend my birthday. I didn't do nothing yesterday, really. my lady, she has a cleaning company. I went with her, helped her clean up a little bit. But
Mhm.
this is really what I wanted to
By the
do.
way, what's the ladies cleaning company?
Maggie,
What's the cleaning company?
S&J Home Services.
Big up to S&J Home Services because we can't come on here and do a podcast,
Yes, sir.
and not shout out the cleaning
Yes, sir.
company owned
S&J
by
Home
the
Services,
goddess
man.
Maggie S&J
Yes, sir.
Cleaning
Thank you.
Company.
Thank you.
So if you located upstate New York in
Yes,
the
sir.
Syracuse area and you need somebody to clean your home and all that, tap
Yes,
in
sir.
with S&J, man, and Maggie will take care of you.
Yes, sir. 5 stars everywhere,
Everywhere,
man.
leave your home spick and span. And if you want your home to be cruelty free and be clean with natural products and all that, she got you too.
No, definitely. We big on aromatherapy while we cleaning.
Aromatherapy, you
Yeah,
feel
man.
me?
So,
That's a way of healing. Having a clean space is a sign,
definitely.
that you're operating from a good mental and
Yeah.
spiritual space. The same way your body is your temple, it has to be clean. Is the same way you got to make sure your house and your car is clean. Is a
Most
sign
definitely.
of good health and self-respect. So
Most definitely,
tap
man.
in.
Yo, man, this your boy Shaq, Diamond Talk Podcast. We just closing up with my boy Paul. That's my brother, right? I ain't gonna say my boy, my brother
That's
in
my
love.
brother, man. That's my
You feel
brother
what I'm saying?
Shaq.
I'm thankful for the day, man. Shout out to the studio we at. We in what's the studio called? Theorist Studio. Shout out to the fellas at Theorist Studio,
Shout out
man.
to Theorist Studio, man. The vibe is lit.
Nice vibe,
The
man.
vibe is
Great
really lit.
vibe.
Got the trees set up. Got
Yes,
the
sir.
books. You feel
Yes,
me?
sir.
Knowledge is key. Knowledge is power. That's also another way they heal. You feel me? If
Yes,
you're
sir.
having mental issues and
Yes,
dealing with
sir.
stress and anxiety and depression, take 30 minutes out of your day and read a book, and you will see how much that help you heal in
Yes,
a lot
sir.
of ways. So big up the Theories.
Yeah, man. If you in
Big up the
NYC, man.
Food, Water, and Diamonds.
Shout out to Jet Diamond, man.
Sponsoring the podcast.
Shout out to Jet Diamond. Yes, sir.
Get your food and your water and turn into a diamond, and you be flying like
Also,
a jet.
before we leave, man, let's talk about the hat. Where
we got the hats. You feel me? Like the hat that I have on. You feel me? The logo that you see, which is a peacock, is from my brand called Whoosh, and Whoosh is spelled WOOSH. Originally, it was supposed to be a workout brand that stands for workout or stay home. And Whoosh is a Creole word that means damn, and damn is a symbol of freedom because you can say damn for anything. It's all about the intention and the energy that you attach to it. So basically, Whoosh is my way of being artistic and expressing myself through fashion. You feel me? And I put, the pieces of weapon hats, under the brand Whoosh. You could get some at whooshwear.com, and that's WOOSHWEAR.com. You feel me? And also, don't forget the herbs. UnitedSpiritsPharmacy.com, and that's pharmacy with an F, not a PH, and that's UNITEDSPIRITSFARMACY, UnitedSpiritsPharmacy.com.
Yes,
it don't matter what you're aiming to heal from or whatever they told you that you can't heal from.
Yes,
I help people heal from everything. When
that
I say everything, and I mean everything, whether it's the alphabets, whether it's the diabetes, whether it's the big C, so on and so forth, because there's a night, there's a day, there's an in, there's an out, there's a sun, there's a moon, there's a masculine, there's a feminine. There's an opposite to everything. So don't let nobody tell you that you're able to contact something and that you're unable to extract it. It totally goes against nature. So tapping in and love and heal on yourself. And the most important thing that goes into all these products is called love, which is the number one medicine out there. You feel me? So before we go, Shaq, I got to let the people know. You feel me? Always remember when you playing this game called life, always remember when you're on offense, always remember you can't pump fake God. And when you're on defense, always remember you can't block love because love always wins. It's the law, LAW. And remember, peace is a weapon. Heal them with peace. And if you're going to be loyal to anything, be loyal to yourself. Peace.
Peace, love, and light, man. We out of here.